and what's persuasive? From 9 to 5, I know it's vacant, yeah, bitch. Dreams of living life like rappers do. Back when condom rappers wasn't cool. I fucked Sieren and went to tell my bros. Then Usher Raymond Let It Burn came on. Hot sauce all at night, I rhyming, yeah, bitch. Park the car, then we start rhyming, yeah, bitch. The only thing we had to free our mind. Then freeze that verse when we see dollar signs. You looking like an easy come up, yeah, bitch. A silver spoon, I know you come from, yeah, bitch. And that's a lifestyle that we never knew. Go at a revenue for the revenue. Holly Berry or hallelujah. Pick your poison, tell me what you doing. Everybody go respect the shooter, but the one in front of the gun lives forever.
The one in front of the gun forever.
And I've been hustling all day, this away, that away, through canals and alleyways, just to say, money trees is the perfect place for shade, and that's just how I feel. Nah, $8 might just fuck your main bitch, that's just how I feel. Nah, $8 might say fuck them niggas that you game with, that's just how I feel. Nah, $8 might just make that lane switch, that's just how I feel. Nah, $8 might turn to $1 million and we all rich, that's just how I feel. Dreams of living life like rappers do. Bump that new E40 after school. You know big ballin' with my homies. Earl Stevens had us thinking rational. Back to reality, we pour, yeah, bitch. Another casualty at war, yeah, bitch. 2 bullets in my Uncle Tony head. He said one day I'll be on tour, yeah, bitch. That Louis burgers never be the same. A Louis belter never ease that pain. But I'ma purchase when that day is jerking. Pull off at churches with Pirelli skirting. Gang signs out the window, yeah, bitch. Hoping all of them offend you, yeah, bitch. They say your hood is a pot of gold.
You can enjoy PUBG United anytime, anywhere. For the first time in esports history, PUBG Global Championship and PUBG Mobile Global Championship will unite on a single stage. Starting with a grand opening ceremony on a massive scale, each day brings new and exciting moments. With that energy building up, the intense grand finals of PGC and PMGC will come together for the first time in history on one united stage. On this one-of-a-kind stage, the world's top players will battle in back-to-back grand finals, offering an experience like never before. One world, 2 champions coming together in a truly historic moment. November 24th to December 14th in Bangkok, Thailand. Come and experience PUBG United to the fullest. We will continue striving to be a PUBG and PUBG Mobile that never stops working hard for our fans. Thank you.
For those in attendance, for everybody at home, it is time for day number 2 of PGC 2025. We've already started things out with EMEA looking strong, Korea looking strong, but now it's going to be a challenge for everybody to rise to the occasion, make that catch-up happen, because it is not too much of a catch-up, which makes it all the more exciting. The field is very open here for the second day of the World Championship. My name's Kalaris, and joining me to my right-hand side, I have Toffees, I have Avenger. It's the green machines today. We are ready to go.
It's the lettuce in between the burger.
Yeah, the only way they're going to catch up is if they got together and mustered a good plan for today. Mustard, like gathered together.
Yeah. That's great. What a...
Anyway,
we are going to sandwich them in there. All right, go ahead.
Let's talk about all of our sponsors, of course, that make things happen here for PGC.
It's Ben Kusawi, our official gaming manager here for PGC 2025.
And of course, if you need a good chair, your only option is TT Racing, an ergonomic solution to winning chicken the best way we know how.
And have you heard of this small company, Amazon? Well, we got AWS
Dingo
here,
Bing
our
God
official
said
partner,
10 likes
joining
face
us for
orange
PGC
TV shape.
2025.
NOP.GG joins us to make sure that you can overpower your game.
And you can overpower your chance to win G-Coin if you scan the code on your screen right now and jump into some 4x4 bingo. First come, first serve, so do it quickly and then figure it all out.
Not to mention that, but if you're a time traveler, you could go back yesterday and get some drops from yesterday, but there's already also some drops for today as well as tomorrow. The nameplate today, you're going to want that especially, and the jacket tomorrow. As we mentioned yesterday, it is the one that all the players are basically wearing here for PGC 2025.
You're going to have to leave a PC or your phone in the back to make sure you get those things, because those are collectibles, and I want some.
Yeah.
I've got my Twitch open to earn those. Not to see what Twitch has to say, I promise. It's just to get the collectibles.
No, definitely. All right, well, let's talk about everything that's going on. But what is also coming up is, of course, the PPMI, the PUBG Players Masters Invitational, which right after PGC will be happening over in Seoul, South Korea. So that's exciting.
It's very exciting. It's going to be a whole new way to see the game. And this will be the first time we get to do it on land. So I think it'll be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. They're flying out, Monday and Tuesday to go straight to Korea and get the year closed out with a huge event there.
Are we scared about the idea of Seoul playing with Hamas?
Yes.
It came out of nowhere. It happened so fast they had to Photoshop the team together, but honestly, it could be exciting no matter how you slice.
That is very exciting. Of course, Wicked is on that team as well, so that'll be it'll be interesting to see how that all meshes for sure. So you want to be tuning in for that one. But anyway, also what is going on here at PGC as well is not only all the games and festivities, but also in this grand final, the MVP coming from the winning team will win themselves a Porsche Cayenne or the substitution with the cash of the equivalent value, which is it's unbelievable. When we came here, Toffees, we were like, they get a car?
A car?
What?
Maybe I should try to play this game. No, it's a great reward. I think it's going to drive a lot of players to work a little bit harder. Whether it's a cash split or the car, it's a big reward.
Yeah, and especially for you, the survival time is also one of the evaluation criteria, right? So it would be huge if you're able to get in that. 40% for kills and 30% of damage is going to probably go to one of our kill leaders.
Are you saying especially for Toffees? I don't think we're going to be the champions
he's
of
one
PGC.
of the best he's one of the best survivors I ever played with.
He's very judgmental of rats.
Yeah, okay, well, fair
but I'm a proud rat. I stand by that.
All right, well, let's talk about everything that's going on throughout today, because, of course, yesterday we had a banger full of games, and so said will lead the kills overall.
If you had asked me at the start of yesterday, I would not have so said he was going to be the best player on this list, but he is. 15 kills in Hackatory, not even the top 5, is kind of wild to me.
Yeah, man. If he had survived the other win that they had and didn't get flushed, that would have been huge for them, right? It's a huge clutch for him. The nade, he had 7 kills in that game where he clutched with the links, he threw the nade and got T around. Like, it's a massive game. But he had a few throughout this tournament. He had a few days and a few games where it's actually okay, so just kind of banging. So his price was actually very expensive going into PGC finals.
I'm not going to call it a curse, but I'm going to call it a curse. Can Na'Vi continue it multiple days in a row in this World Championship, Toffees?
I want to believe they can, right? But no, I think yesterday the first 3 games were plagued by passivity by our top teams. Everyone's being careful when you start this event.
Right in the raz, bro. Right in the raz.
More activity by players like VP. You see Nixie just absolutely eliminate Twisted Minds here. They're going to get more aggressive. We're going to see more of this from all of our teams, and I think that's hard for Na'Vi to deal with.
I think that's huge. I will ask this, though. Based on what you said here, I want to hear, who do you believe in because what's your fantasy picks? Because that's what you really believe in.
I stood on the fantasy picks yesterday. I'm going to stand on them again today. I didn't make any changes.
That's
VP, right here, we're watching them. Pixie in particular is a good price. They're a big team that's on an uprise coming to the finals.
Perfect.
You got to have them. Falcons, I was scared, but I believed in them. They got that Game 6 win. They're going to look really, really good. And then I got Type because he was $12,000. So.
And G1 actually did quite well yesterday. One of the best performing teams out of Korea. Obviously, we had by Game 4, 3 of our bottom teams was from Korea, right? But it was a huge pickup. But full sense, they looked good yesterday. Only playing 6 games, obviously. We were a little bit worried for them, but they actually showed up yesterday. I was quite impressed with that.
I mean, I think that was it. Is teams that we needed to see something out of.
Full sense was one of them. Is only having
and 17 Gaming. This is a team that has been so hot and cold. They only win combinations of their own numbers. It's almost become memey at this point. We're like, which 17 shows up here at the grand finals? And so far, it's been a good 17, not a bad 17.
I still have a concern, though, fall by the wayside. This is arguably the strongest lobby we have ever had in PUBG history.
It's crazy.
And with 17 having some mishaps in group stage, I don't know if they've tightened the bolts yet, Avenger.
For me, though, when they win a military game like they did, it's the least home turf circle. Considering they're losing Picard Pachinko, right?
Yeah.
It's the least home turf circle. And if you're able to win those kind of games, the games that are close to you where you have like top 3 prio into the compounds that are really good, that's the games where I want to see them really cash in.
I'll play devil's advocate, but if you're early to one of those bunkers and then how are people supposed to get them out, right? So anyway, let's take a look at the total leaderboard. Right now, Novice is in number 1, and we will have them with 59 points. I've already posed the question if they can continue that on. We will see throughout the day here, of course. We've already kind of talked about them. We'll get to talking about them a little bit more in a moment here. Falcons, if they didn't have that last game yesterday, they'd have been a bit in the doldrums, but this was a huge boost.
I mean, I said at the start of the day, if they don't get a win today, we can kind of write them off on that run to the championship. And that win was huge, and they got half of their points in that win. But that's kind of the Falcons' new play style. You wait for those games to work for you, and then you go out and you get the most points.
Team slow. Team slow.
The majority of our
teams chicken dinner ochna top 5 ki ellipoddi oka dinner ochna atlundi situation
kind of bad games, right?
That's so close.
We only see Navi having a 14-point lead down to 3rd place right now. Sure, all of our teams on the right-hand side. One good game in the first 2 or 3.
Day 3
we're looking
only
at them
top
jumping
4,
straight
top 5
into that
fight
top 5.
Let's compare the number 1 versus the first time playing, of course, in full sense here for PGC. And I think it's fair to say here, you know, there were some question marks around full sense here, but they haven't disappointed so far, Toffees.
I mean, I don't think if you could ask anyone and say, how are they going to do? And a lot of people said probably not great. They're going to be cold. They're getting an auto invite. They're not playing a lot of games. They played 6 matches. They won their first chicken in 3, right? Like, these guys are clearly not cold. And now when we talk about the strength of the lobby maybe being the strongest ever, to see the team that was expected to maybe struggle the most come in and get a chicken dinner on day 1 means this is a monster.
And we talked about them throughout the year. We're like, they are group stage heroes. They do so well in group stage, often and often. And here they dodge a group stage, and all of a sudden it's actually doing well. Maybe it's about them the first time they're playing, they're just doing extremely well. And I will say this, though, as well. We're coming into yesterday. There's a lot of nerves. There's a lot of pressure. It's the biggest stage we've had this year so far, and there's a lot of eyes on them as well. So them having that home turf advantage, coming, you know, a small bus ride from home to here, I think that had a huge advantage yesterday.
3 regionals, of course, were able to dominate the qualification process into our grand final in Korea, EMEA and SEA here, with America's own China having 1 apiece. For China, I think that is a bit more of a surprise to me overall, considering where that region should be, really, right?
I mean, I feel the same way about the Americas, this idea of both.
You think so?
I mean, China in particular is a region that has huge viewership, huge fan base, really rabid fan base, and to see only 1 team get through has got to be really frustrating for all of them. America's also frustrated with 1. But what I'm frustrated is Korea's got 5 in this, and we don't have a chicken dinner on day 1 for them.
They're in a bit of an odd spot for sure. But anyway, before we actually get to the festivities here for today, let's check in with Pan, who's over in the fan zone.
Why?
Am I breaking
it again? PUBG United 2025, and right here I'm standing right in front of the first mission of this event. At the back of me right here is the PUBG M Creative. As you can see, there are a lot of works from the creators that you can join the activities to vote, to enjoy with many activities here, and also grab the prize as well. And for more, why we just walk walk through the first mission, and then with this cutie butterbeer booth, they came with their products like some toys. Here we go. So over here is mission 3. When you walk inside, at your right hand side is mission 3, and right here is the cafe of PUBG in Bangkok for the PGC 2025. And also you can play the games here in the arena of PUBG in Bangkok. And this is the merchandise shop that's selling with the special or the limited edition of 2025 of PGC this year. And next, right here at the back of me, we have another
helmets
sound
kuda
of the
ammutunnaru bro.
PMGC as well. Here,
Akka akkada
you can
godaga
choose
glitchnaru.
1, 2, 3, 4. What mission you like, you can vote it at the board as well. And there is the Infinix. Infinix is one of our partner. So today they have their own booth as well with a special price and the activities that you can join. And right here is
అందరూ
another
జపనీస్ లెక్క
activities.
ఉండాలని
It's a
ట్రై
group
చేస్తారు
game.
అమ్మాయి ఎందుకో
And
నాకు
next
అర్థం
this
కాదు
one.
సేమ్
You
హెయిర్ కట్
can
అంతా
have like the hair color spray. Here, the activities that you can joining us. Everything is easy. This one for everyone's zone. You just take a picture, just follow the Instagram and grab the special prize as well. All right, so this is all, ladies and gentlemen, in Fan Zone B. And today's just the second day, so let's come and join us, have fun together, and let's roar the game together. Bye.
All right, thank you very much, Pan. That was awesome stuff here from the fan zone. The fan zone is spectacular. I know you've been around it multiple times. There's so much to do.
The problem is it's weekend, so the queues are huge. It was like the queue starts here. There's a sign. I was like, "There's no way," and it went all around like a block. I was like, "I'm not gonna get any of that stuff. Where's my G gun gonna come
What
from?"
is this? You didn't go, "I'm Avenger." What are you doing?
No,
Get out of my way.
Absolutely not.
Well, let's take a look at the pickup challenge. This obviously was
DNA 63%
we
అంట
mentioned yesterday,
63%.
63% of the vote.
Bottom third లో
Considering
ఉన్నారు
they
అనుకుంటా
are
ఇప్పుడు
currently at 21 points. It's going to be a big climb for them.
It is, but again, I will judge them by the halftime, Joe. Right?
Okay, that's
Once
fair.
we're done
Three
with
games
three,
in.
one three game.
Yep.
హీరో
One
కూడా
good
అసలు
game
క్వాలిఫై
today,
కూడా
they're in the
కాలేదు
mid-pack.
హీరో
One more good game, boom, you're top 2, right?
DAY-2 salute. That's all I have to say.
Oh.
Right?
Nice,
And if he pops out, if we will see it in 1 and 2, and I think then maybe they're back in this. The same way Falcons were out of it till the last game.
As we have a look at today's matches as well, but just as a topic off the back of that, isn't it interesting that we end up at PGC? Last year, obviously, the salute was the headline, really, for Korea. Now, you've got End, you've got Type, you've got Red Zone, you've got Rex, you've got all of these names in Korea rising through the ranks who are just showing that they can do it better than Salute in today's
And
days.
you know what? For me, this is just another big line under the, wow, there's so much talent in
all
Korea. It's all
separated.
spread out. It's 1 or 2 guys on each team. Until, I mean, of course, DNF, it's kind of the exemption, right? But the 3-4 teams we have, imagine the super team. If we somehow have 4 superstars.
I will devil's advocate this for a second.
Yeah, sure.
I will say some of these teams, like Red Zone, for instance, I think some of these new stars have been able to really pop because we're putting together with old players who have a lot of experience and maybe not the same
The push, the
reflex.
lead.
Yes, exactly. So I do think super teams
Ego
are on the
problems,
way.
maybe.
But I think that last 2
Yeah, I
years
see
has
that.
been sort of developing these new superstars, and now
వీడు
I
kick
think
start
going into the
kickstart
next year,
తమ్ముడులాగా
2026,
ఉంటాడు
we're going to see some of those super teams.
Yeah, I hope so, man. It'll be awesome to see.
Kickstart కి
I love the
Shimji-కి
Danoa year where we
breed
just
చేస్తే
had the
అట్లుంటాడు
absolute all-star
The
super
monster.
team. It was just
It was
unstoppable. And then obviously closing out the year with winning PGC was massive for me. I mean,
Same
that's
ఉంటాడు
what we want to
kickstart
see, like,
like.
because these guys are mechanically so gifted. They understand the game so well. And if you can put egos aside, you can put all these things, and you can function.
It's not that easy.
If you can function together with full synergy between all 4 members, that's where you get the levels of the twisted minds. Their core has been together for years now. They're so often where things will be done without having to communicate it.
Agreed.
And if you can communicate other stuff while actually getting stuff done, you're just so much more efficient in a team chemistry setting.
Well, let's hope for Twisted Minds, of course, a team that is looking to become the world champion, that communication does come through today, because they are the bottom side of this right now. Toppy's final thought before we get to it.
They're going to bounce back. I think those teams with good communication and good experience, Day-2 is where they shine the most. They're going to bounce back from last night and be ready to go.
Yeah, they're going to have taken away all the learnings from yesterday to bring it to day number 2 here. It's PGC 2025.
ఇట్లా మాట్లాడాలన్నా కూడా టాలెంట్ ఉండాలి బ్రో
here for day 2 to
Okay.
grab those points.
కంటిన్యూస్ గా లపలపల ప్రభా
Am I lost in a dream? Can't find nowhere to hide. No sign of home, so I just stand up cool. I keep calling, do you hear it all? Then my voice break through the static and me to
మంచిగా వేసారు కదా ఇది వీడియో. పాట కూడా బాగానే ఉంది. One world, two champions. Thailand.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are kicking off PUBG United Day 2 in style. The stage is about to light up because we have a special guest who needs no introduction. Get loud, get ready, and make some noise for Thailand's own global superstar, Bam Bam!
Bam Bam. What do I do? సింగరా ఏంది వీడు?
Murder on the beat, so it's not nice. She was down bad, can see up again. I can't hear you if you're broke. Come again.
ఆడియన్స్ అటు సైడ్ ఉంటే ఇటు సైడ్ తిరిగేస్తాడు ఏంది డాన్స్?
Haters, yeah, and one. About to put their ass to sleep, now they see I'm a poppin' rock designer, got a Louis V. Like a sucker, but a sucker free. This girls get lucky, I'm living in luxury. They come and go, that's why they come for me. I'm like, thank you, come again. Next time, pull up with your friends. Only link with bad bitches, all you see is nice and teen. I just jumped inside the rolls, I got tired of the pen. Other side of money counters, I can hear you come again. Coming in, she said I'm tripping, but I never fall in love again. She was down bad, can see up again. I can't hear you if you're broke. Come again. Come again. Thank you. Come again. I got a big bang, bro, big dollars. Can nobody even see me in my supervision goggles? I can put your girl on a private jet and take her shopping. I'm the one and not the two. Valet pop the Rari. Security don't encourage me. Wake up just to make a bag. Flex it, dying sorry. They jealous cause I spend their hair. I want it, it's alarming. I got him mad, I got him hurt. That's your lady, I'm a flirt. If you do wanna try me, I can put him in the dirt. You can really talk about it unless you put me in that work. Hop up in my fast car, pull up on haters. Coming in, she said I'm tripping, but I never fall in love again. She was down bad, can see up again. I can't hear you if you're broke. Come again. Hey. Come again. is what I came for. I'm on a mission and can't nobody stop me. King of
వాళ్ళకి చినుగుతూ ఉంటుంది తెలుసా ఇంకా డాన్సర్స్కి నాన్ స్టాప్ చేస్తారు బ్రో. అందరూ బ్రేక్స్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక సీన్కి బ్రేక్ తీసుకొని చేస్తారు నార్మల్గా. వీళ్ళు నాన్ స్టాప్ కంటిన్యూస్గా చేయాలి. క్రేజీ.
Hear my season. I'm on a mission and can't nobody stop me. King of the empire and can't nobody stop me. I know what I'm destined to be, destined to be. Whoever wanna go and send them my way, 'cause I'm on it. This is my place. Hey, oh, oh, see, oh, oh, wheels up, yeah, wheels up. I'm on my way, wheels up, yeah, wheels up, I'm on my way, wheels up, yeah, wheels up, I'm on my way, wheels up, yeah, wheels up, I'm on my way. Let's go. Wheels up, yeah, wheels up, I'm on my way. Wheels up, yeah, wheels up, I'm on my way. Wheels up, yeah, wheels up, I'm on my way. Wheels up, yeah, wheels up, I'm on my way.
మళ్ళా కొత్త పాట. ఆపురా రే, చాలరా.
I'm just trying to give it all back. I don't wanna work like this. I just wanna ball like that. Everybody trying to make money. I just wanna throw a couple hundred. I just wanna ball like cool flexing over Benny going stupid. Blue check in my pockets is such a nuisance. Too thick, my shawty know how to do it. Banking like some back to school shit. Playing for the weekend, the weekend. Pull it up, go off the deep end, deep end. I don't even need a reason. We're geeking. Swear I'm about to blow at least a couple hundred racks. Yeah, long nights, and all of them long flights. Just skipping that spotlight right on me. Let's dance. I don't wanna work like this. I just wanna ball like that. Everybody's trying to make money. I'm just trying to give it all back. I don't wanna work like this. I just wanna ball like that. Everybody trying to make money. I just wanna throw a couple hundred. I just wanna ball like. Step in the party, I hit it like I'm a psycho. Back from the road like who running the city.
टैलेंट तो है,
Wondering what's popping up in
टैलेंट
the
तो
fly
है.
zone. All this women going grinding up on my side. Ay, you know they're blowing up. Every time I play a show, they be showing up. And I know you know they never get enough. That's why I keep on coming right back. Long nights, and all of them long flights. Just skipping that spotlight right on me. I don't wanna work like this. I just wanna ball like that. Everybody trying to make money. I'm just trying to give it all back. I don't wanna work like this. I just wanna ball like that. Everybody trying to make money. I just wanna throw a couple hundred. I don't wanna work like this. I just wanna ball like that. Everybody trying to make money. I'm just trying to give it all back. I don't wanna work like this. I just wanna ball like that. Everybody trying to make money. I
మర్చిపోకుండా ఎట్లేస్తారు బ్రో అని చెప్పి నాకు అర్థం కాదు. ఫక్
What's up, PUBG? Can y'all make some noise for me one time? This side. Can y'all make some noise for me one time?
అచ్చా 2 sides ఉన్నాయా?
BP doing a regroup.
Oh, they even blew up the chip?
Oh.
I was wondering for a second if Twisted was going to just wait and grab the chip, but the Falcons aren't even going to give him the chance.
That's a message in and of itself. Now Twisted right up against the zone wall early. Minimal information, minimal stretch that they've been able to do, and now T1 could be wrapping behind them.
That's amazing. Poking the bear a little bit, maybe, but we'll see. I mean, for the Falcons out confidence early, see if it continues to pay off. They've, garnered a lot of space for themselves as well north of San Martin. So this should be A-OK, especially if you get a western shift. And, a lot of teams aren't going to go north in this circle because the circles don't like to go that way on Miramar. So everybody just going to be lining up center, south. Delwyn tagged up just a bit. A little bit of damage into the car. Tires looked okay there, as it looks like BB team just kind of keeping Delwyn honest. Don't want to let him get anywhere near you because he is a sneaky snake.
Full stacked BB team right on top of each other, and I think this is just a symptom of the circle. The Expendables did go more north than where we saw them just a little while ago, so that opened up space for the E-Arena to get inside the circle pretty free and clear. Batulin's still pretty much where we saw him a while ago. Type's going to be getting pretty close to Twisted, so keep an eye on if anything happens out of that. The Expendables now pretty comfortable. Nobody really more to their north for quite a ways or back behind them to the east. They've got a great way just to kind of force themselves into the circle if they want.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of an interesting game, a big one for Full Sense. Again, the DMRs have been really, really good for them in terms of finding that damage, clearing the space, and that's going to be something they're going to be called upon to do here once again as an edge team to start. Looking for a little bit of entry. They do have some space at Graveyard, but if they keep going on that path that we saw on the map they had marked, they will run into one of the 2-2 splits of VP, so going to take a little bit of scouting. I like this from Tigger. Make sure that you are going to be aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah, and it's not a lot going on around you as you're talking about. It's just Graveyard open all the way. Type is getting closer and closer to Batulins. This is what I was getting a bit scared of. Everybody knows that this is where Batulins likes to go and get that information, and Type going to be right next to him. I'm assuming that Type might think that Twisted's already left because they saw Lou go down, and so maybe a regroup, but Batulin's going to stick to the game plan.
It's a butterfly effect, right, of what the Falcons did early. Is T1 going to be able to, E-End in particular, I think you'd be looking at his veteran experience to kind of figure this out, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, Type should probably just be dead if Batulins feels like it.
Well, it's also kind of a hard angle for Batulins to hit, right? That's pretty vertical over there, and Batulins is going to get enough information on the cars, but I think he's also suspecting that somebody is right down below him. But see how hard it is to get that angle. You really have to peek for it, but Type isn't even looking. That's going to be Batulins picking off Type real early.
Yep, this is a nice pickup for Twisted after a rough start. Not good for T1, who is sitting in third place right now coming into today, and that's not going to help him either. Way over towards the east. Not a lot of Death Star trenching just yet, but very likely could end up shifting that way again, man.
This is a scary circle for everybody else, though, except for the Expendables. This is a lot of foot push potential where they've already got themselves fairly centered, so the Expendables could be a big factor in what we're going to be looking at comes out of this, because a lot of these squads are going to try playing this upper area in between the northern section of Death Star Trench all the way into Cruda Valle. So BB already in position early, going to feel comfortable. But to the west, man, Azla's going to have to do a long wrap. T1, probably Twisted. Twisted might go south instead of north like the other two squads. Looks like Falcon's just going to follow in back behind Namiga, but VP needs to regroup. Full Sense needs to regroup. And, I mean, wrapping to the south just feels bad in the circle, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely it does. Because you know it's going to be congested. That's the worst part of it all.
Yeah.
And there isn't a ton to work with in terms of compounds, because a lot of it on the south side is south of, like so much of Death Star Trench is already in the bottom part of this circle that there's very little surface area to work with underneath it in the south. So you're talking about a situation where teams are going to have to play in those hillsides, play in those mountains, and that can be tricky because it slopes pretty steeply at some points, and it really opens up.
And you're kind of trapped right now if you're somebody like the Freaks, who's playing in the lower section of Death Star Trench already. They've got Na'Vi on top of them. 17 have led to a couple of small altercations. No big fight yet. But unless the circle pops to the south, this is going to be really brutal for these guys to have to go up the other side of Death Star Trench into so many squads, most notably BB and the Expendables, waiting for a firefight.
Yeah, it's now about zone control for those teams that have already claimed some real estate inside of the current circle. Try to thwart anybody from getting into any advantageous positions behind or around you as best as possible. VP slamming in to the stalls. 17 slamming away because they're like, nope, we're not in a good position to take this fight. VP's got the numbers. Let's try and get out.
Just a couple of stray shots coming up from Perfectix. Namiga's going to let 17 regroup because they were caught taking shots from the Falcons. That's going to allow 17 a little bit more breathing room, and they're not going to just go for a full regroup. Instead, they're going to go for more of a 2-2 split, and they're going to go where the crossroads come out of Death Star Trench. They're going to be playing right on the edge of both sides of it. So if the circle does go that way, it is really strong there, but there's not a big mathematical chance it'll do that.
Yeah, it's probably going to end pretty similar to the circle yesterday, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see as T5 trying to cut in between Begopa and Namiga, who are in 2-2 splits. So they've got space. There's a revive station right there as well, of course, but I think they're looking for something a little bit further through as they continue on their merry way. The team I really want to give a quick point out to, a quick shout out, is going to be the Freaks, who immediately collapsed into their 4-man, into a compound on the road.
Yeah,
I really like that from them because they normally don't do that.
Yeah, but that's a really hazardous place to play from.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
You don't really get to participate in too much.
You get crashed.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to defend it well. It is safe for now, and you will manage to make it in later stages if we stay around Death Star Trench.
Somebody's got to go hit E-end here.
Oh, don't worry. This isn't the end for E-end. Somebody will save him.
But if the circle goes...
Well, it's going to be good shots coming up again from Tiggleton. Falcons, do you continue on your pathing, or do you want to kickstart, though? Takes damage. That's going to slow down any form of movement. Now both squads kind of trapped here.
That's a huge response for Namiga. They were in a much worse position. That at least takes an extra gun out of the equation to get the... Should be okay, I believe, on this revive. Nobody else really involved in this fight just yet.
VP, I mean, they've got 17 that's going to be rolling right next to them, so they're kind of caught off over here. They're going to be going way closer to Namiga than they want to. Oh, a lot of squads taking off pieces, and Tiggleton is going to thank Fluky for that one, picking up another kill. Now Namiga trying to make a run, but it's going to be a lot of crossfire shots coming as VP starting to get into a good point. We're very close to them. Falcons now kind of caught outside the circle.
Yeah, tire got popped there for Bayerist. That's not the best situation to be in for him. Has to prone down and pray that nobody's got an angle on him. Too bad, so sad. Opans does.
This is bad stuff for Na'Vi. They are way too close to Asla. The Expendables. E-Arena has a sight line. This is just full salvage right now. It's damage control while 4 different squads are taking pot shots at him, including BB.
Yeah, I mean, Na'Vi was on the southern side of the trench, so they wanted to get across and try to find some kind of center circle to lock things down on the hillside or the mountainside of Cruz de Valle. There is a bit to play there, but they couldn't get there really cleanly. Some good shooting from the other teams. Pop tires, forced them into tricky spots. Looks like Laz is going to be the one to take Varys down. So Azla going to get 2 kills out of that situation. They've got the Expendables right above them, and that is not comfortable.
Could have been way worse. T5 not yet inside the circle, is about to have to contend with the Polar Bears themselves, and VP very close. Namiga, other side. They got stalled out by the Falcons we saw just a moment ago. 17 has some high ground vision in this as well, so this is going to be pretty awkward as neither VP nor T5 in the circle just quite yet. But in Cruz de Valle, we still have T1 and Begapa, so it's E-End as well as Pio right next to each other.
I think this is an attempt potentially at a revive for T1 if they were able to scoop up Type's blue chip. And meanwhile, Pio he's trying to do his thing, and I think E-End at least aware of it out here in the open.
This is what I was expecting. Beamy on one side, crossfire position, just beautiful. Here come the nades. T5 in some trouble, and they can't even get into the circle because Namiga is gatekeeping that side of it. VP wants to clean this out. They want the space to work with, but no clean sight lines coming up for Namiga just yet.
Yeah, ideally, VP just wanted to claim whatever points they could, and then, they do have the option to peel back and try to find another route in. Wow, we are actually going up north. Pretty rare for circles to do this.
I really love the circle, though. Whenever we get to the that upper area where we see Songjong at, there's a lot of interesting verticality that happens coming out of Crew Divide. That's probably just going to be T1 that's going to have to contend with it. Outside the circle, of course, we still have VP, T5, Namiga, and the fight that we're watching. 17 wants nothing to do with it. They're cutting to the east, wrapping around BB. BB's got to get in the circle. Evan Pochon, E-Arena, and we kind of have full sense it has to regroup. Falcons, though, benefit of the circle with the northern wrap.
Yeah, no, the Falcons really reading this well. This has been a stellar game from them so far. 17 beat up, and yeah, they're going to lose at least one in transition, and maybe two.
Trying to survive. This is very, very hard. Not even inside the safe zone yet. Crossfire is going to start being a really big problem. Look at everybody starting to try to get a piece of this. And now the other members for 17 trying to continue forward, but Zhao Bei's just trapped here. There's nowhere to go. I mean, he's got Star-Lord, other side of it, a couple of rocks, maybe a hillside providing some safety, but if anything, this stalls out E-Arena as well.
Yeah, E-Arena busy trying to keep a few teams in check around them, including Twisted Minds and maybe the Freaks as well. Goodbye, VP. In the long run, yeah, T5 Namiga all getting involved there. They just couldn't find a way through.
I mean, the angles of approach for VP just got worse and worse, and Namiga and their high ground, they're just content to stay. They want whatever points that they can find over here, presently sitting in 9th place. Wiping a squad makes them feel a little bit more comfortable, and it's time to bring in some mortars. Zhao Bei still alive, but that rock not feeling near as safe as it did a second ago.
Yeah, that's the expendables there, loading up with the mortars. Oh, Rex has got a lynx. He's got a knock. Corey's looking for another. Hello, my bad. Gets taken out by Ranger X. This is out in the blue. This is a scrappy battle.
I mean, this is just Namiga going after whatever points they can find. They're tied up with the expendables right now, so just a kill or two would be big. Okay, now it's time for the Freaks to make their run. They're going to be following in right back behind Jacob. So the other members for E-Arena still some minute in position, are going to spot this, but Freaks kind of steal this away, and that's going to be so close to Asla as well as the Expendables.
Yeah, they find a timing here where a lot of teams took a bunch of damage cutting through a very similar path. The Freaks are going to get there. The problem is Asla doesn't want to share this space. That grenade from Glaz, if it's on point, it comes up short.
Oh, but got the vision, just gets the knock. Now he just has to figure out how much they want to commit in. They don't want to be too vulnerable. There's a lot of people trying to get inside the circle. You can see that BB and Namiga are just kind of in their own fight, and it's going to be BB just trying to chase down the remnants of Namiga, while we still have Glaz being a little bit more bold every single time, going for these peaks. He's got Hammer with him, but there's so much territory to control up here, and this high ground is so hazardous.
Yeah, the smokes were a bit late to come out from the Freaks, so that opened up an angle for Bagelpot to get involved in the fight. They were getting some of those knocks, getting some of that damage to make it a little bit easier here for Asla to hold off the Freaks, and they're crumbling. That's 2 down already, and some very weak players.
The position is strong, but it's just so hard to stay alive from this angle, as Asla still has to keep focused down onto the Expendables, and doing a good job. It's going to be Red Zone that gets knocked onto Duck Juice. Hal spots out Calori's as well. BB team caught up in their own firefight. Hammer, Hal in a little bit of trouble over here. Delwyn doesn't want to commit too much. He retreats back down to see if he can get the reses.
It's a blessing for the Freaks who need some time to recover. Decent grenades, but just not able to get it all the way up the hill. The Freaks salute. He just sends it, but he's going to pay the price.
I like the idea, though. See if you can backstab at a crucial moment. Now just one member up for the Freaks behind all of this. Kind of stuck in the same position Navi's got, but the Expendables are starting to get themselves back together. They have very close friends in Asla, but Asla can't really get into a good point with this.
Yeah, I mean, look, the good news here for Asla is you've weathered a dangerous storm. And the tides, no heaven.
That was not the path. Navi was like, we feel you, bro. That's the exact same reason we're here right now. Zhao Wu, similar position right next to him.
Yeah, a really tough game for the Freaks there. 0 points to start. Miramar continues to be a real pain point for them. Mark 14 there for Howell. Some heavy-duty weaponry there for Asla to maybe change things today. You know, again, even though they were at the bottom of the leaderboard to start, every placement matters.
We don't see the circle a lot, so Bagup has got an extremely strong compound.
Okay, they're on a 2v4.
It's got vertical vision down into Crew Divide, but also gives them a couple of hills and ridges that they can play to get around the rest of the circle. There's a road just to the south of them that cuts around just down to the southeast.
Falcons
That's the only real path that you've got through here. Everything else is going to be very rugged. As Zhao Wu looks like maybe he wants to go for a point or two of his own. Nade doesn't connect the way he wants. But if we see this going to the north, Begapuz compound's very strong. To the south, though, of course, Asla and the Expendables dual positioning is just so crucial to what's going on down there.
Yeah, it's just a matter of can you keep some of these teams on the south from getting through. Twisted Minds still creeping their way in behind E-Arena, who's got Nurens out ahead, found some space, full sense, just playing it out on that eastern edge. We talked about, you know, how they were going to play this edge. Well, they just avoided a ton of the fighting and were able to kind of skirt over around everything and get themselves into a pretty decent position. Late game looking favorable. This is a big one for Falcons. Can they keep T1 pinned down?
This is a great approach from the Falcons. They've got the ridge line, so if they need to go south, they can just adjust around that, gives them some space to move. Twisted Minds, E-Arena trying to get in the zone right next to each other. Twisted Minds just kind of eyeing it from outside right now, seeing who's shooting at who, but now with E-Arena just getting into this lower section on the hill, that means that the harassment from Asla, from the Expendables, can come out if Twisted isn't careful.
Yeah, I think Twisted just got spotted.
Oh, that nade.
Oh, yes, finally, Xiaowu looking to take down the top team in the lobby here so far. Tough opponent, and he's getting shot by Bagelpa on the side. Just barely able to get prone to safe before he gets taken down.
Nothing feels good up on this high ground because everybody in the lower sections just... Two different squads already taking shots. The circle does go this direction, but it is going to be Xiaowu going down. Hakatori's still alive, but there's going to be the focal point
Dixon
for everything.
said play.
Yeah, tough for Xiaowu there. If he had gotten that first grenade to go, could have been a very different scenario, or maybe Full Sense isn't in a position to capitalize. Instead, it's going to be Xiaowu out. There's a big knock there for the Falcons. As EN goes down. Doesn't look like the revive ever got through for T1, as the Expendables have to make their move in towards Asla. Hakatori getting lit up by a lot. Oh, look at all these grenades.
Dixon said okay.
Just stack them right on top where there's no form of safety.
Night ఆడతారా మీరు?
Full Sense, a lot of control of the circle to the north, E-Arena to the south. They've got the hillside that they're playing from. Asla, other side of the hill, pretty comfortable. Still with the Expendables like you're talking about. BB, they've got to make a push into the circle. Begapa, T1 back behind him, and Falcons, they have eyes to go after where Full Sense is at, but Thanadol's holding one side of it, and Belmoth has got a flank position on the other side.
Yeah, T1's going to try to scoot around Bagelpa's compound
Dixon said
here.
night outside.
Use that steep cliff side to try to find some advantages. PO picks up a P90. That is a potent, powerful piece of utility that he's got. EN going to be quiet, going to try to take a page out of his opponent's playbook and try to get him sneaking. Twisted just says, well, not much we can do here.
This is why I love this circle.
ఇంత వేస్ట్ గా బ్రో జోన్ గా వచ్చిపోతారు గానీ కిల్
makes
చేస్తలేరు.
for some really cool firefights. T1's done their homework. They know how to approach it. They know where the vulnerabilities are at. PO a bit isolated for now, but it's going to be a great throw coming up from Songjong onto EN to get the knock onto him.
That was beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. The problem is a Khan steps out, and they're not ready for him. Oh, the jumping shot from Heather!
Heather pops off in a big way, keeps his squad in a very strong position, but he's got to stay alive. It's just him versus Vegapop. BB uses the opportunity. Looks like they want to backstab everything that's going on, while the Falcons at range using this firefight as a distraction.
Oh,
Shrimji Naka.
great nade from Songjong that deals with Heather on that backside. The problem is this opens up the window. Tiggleton, that grenade should get him knocked. Indeed, he is under pressure. Full Sense is surrounding Falcons here on their backside.
Oh man, Falcons have decided to go after the shack that we saw Navi playing a second ago. BB team, this is the push that we saw coming a mile away. Vegapa down to just one, but Songjong's been playing so well so far today. Just one game in, and he's done so much work to keep his squad in some pivotal points. But BB just got too many members up, and actually it's going to be harassment coming up from Asla to force BB away.
Yeah, it is kind of whoever's making that move is getting punished on the backside. Everybody's so hungry to get involved in these fights. The Mark 12 for the knock onto Besto. Can he get the flush there? Indeed, he will.
Full Sense, got to be careful. A lot of people starting to get a bit aggro on them if they're not watching their flanks. Irina Nurens, most notably keeping an eye on Tigger, who looks like it's going to be the flank position on one side of it. Expendables got to go, and they've got to go through Asla. They find a way to knock on the door with the Panzerfaust. Delwyn gets a knock on the glass, but it's going to be E-Arena, other side of this high ground, doing the punishment down onto the Expendables. They've got to go, but they don't know exactly where they've got to go to. Nothing feels safe.
That's a great angle that E-Arena finds, but a response from Tanvu to back Jacob off. Maybe can get the res here onto your IGL. No flush onto Glaz. They're able to get the res in before the grenades can do the damage. Red Zone just going to hold the line. We know how dangerous he can be in these spots.
Tanvu goes for the peaks onto E-Arena to see if he can shoo them away. The Expendables know they have to go through Aslan. Aslan's trapped on point as well. This is just a matter of who can get the kills. this stage. Tanvu going down is going to throw off the timing yet again. This just continues to see like it's about to pop off and then has to immediately pump the brakes yet again. Peaks galore between these two. Calories goes down as well.
Yeah, they're getting exposed here are the Expendables. The fact that Molotov was able to find an angle. Blast at the Panzer. Duck says, no, sir. I got a barrel. You're going to have to pull the trigger a little bit faster there.
Reaction time anta slow unte etla bro.
Of the Expendables. That's a brutal loss here for Oslo. It looked like it was going to be so solid.
Interesting thing happening. Whenever we saw where the Freaks went a second ago, now it's going to be a bit of a firefight over there. That's going to distract E-Arena and open up more movement for the Expendables to try to jump on. Opon's on top. The Falcons got to a great point, but it feels like this area is cursed. Anybody that goes for it just gets dropped.
Yeah, Opon's with some nasty business there. Not much that Kick can do, and H-Win about to feel the hurt too, right up on top. It's a great angle, and E-Arena looking good. Just look at Tigger, he has a great gun there.
While that was going on, the Expendables do go down. Asla do keep their defense, but Asla, what do you do now? You've got to walk into E-Arena, into the exact same spot where we've seen two different squads meet their doom.
I mean, if Asla gets out of this with 3 up, they have a real chance because there's going to be damage being done between these two tie teams. 10 kills for Full Sense. What a show they are putting on for the home crowd. Belmont gets it done on Nurens.
Absolutely popping off in second place right now. 59 points. Full Sense got control over the circle. E-Arena just hunkered down on one section of the hillside. Asla right next to him. Everything's working out exactly the way that Full Sense wants. Belmont's got to keep control on one side of it. Well, it looks like it's going to be Thanadol on the other.
This is a brilliant setup for Full Sense. You have both of your opponents stuck on the bad side of the circle. Good luck getting out of this. It's going to take some good shooting here from E-Arena or from Asla to really break this open. So for Full Sense right now, the job is don't give up any knocks. Don't give up anything easy. You've got the win condition. Can you capitalize?
It's going to be so hard to force these two squads to fight each other until we get to the road. But with the Blue Zone back behind them in phase number 8, they know that they're just doing a waiting game. The slower that Full Sense can make this game go, the better for them. That's going to force Asla and E-Arena into this section of the road that's so open and really force them to entangle on each other. Then Full Sense can run out, go for exactly what they want. But Asla keeps spotting out these different angles from Full Sense and just can't get the knock.
Asla has no choice but to try to go towards E-Arena because of Flash's position. Unless they can do something about that and open up a little bit extra space.
Santosh said hello.
Cut down. Danadol as well, able to peek up over his ridge.
Hi bro, hi.
This is just a horrible approach for Asla with so few options to go for. They can at least get the reses. That's just due to the way that these little trenches
bro, ఇది చెప్పేది మర్చిపోయాను నీకు కాస్మిక్ బైట్ లోనే నా మోడల్ కంటే కొత్త మోడల్ ఒకటి రిలీజ్ అయింది ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయి అది కూడా బాగానే ఉందంట
Jacob wanted to go for a peek on Asla. A bit punished. Red Zone just standing out in the open. Belmont on top. Gonna find one, and Asla in a lot of trouble over here. Hammer just running right into E-Arena.
Santosh N2K8L said okay.
Gets traded quickly after taking down Hammer. Hammer has no health. He's gone. E-Arena, they are crumbling underneath Full Sense.
Full Sense is finding it all.
Santosh N2K8L said, are you supporting any team?
Just Jacob, the last one up. Still 4 people up for Full Sense. And they get them all.
And that's going to put a tie team on top here at PGC. What an explosive way to start the day. The fans loving it as they should.
Just great read on the circle coming up from Full Sense. They knew exactly what their win conditions were playing on that eastern area. They knew exactly how to slow back down the game. They knew where. Just great read on the circle coming up from Full Sense. They knew exactly what their win conditions were playing on that eastern area. They knew exactly how to slow back down the game. They knew where everybody was coming from. Once they won the fight against
green color,
it opened up everything for them just to take control of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful manipulation of space by Full Sense. In the early part of the game as well, being stuck as one of the last teams coming into that first circle, they navigated around everybody where everyone else was struggling.
Santosh N2K8L said okay.
Game to kick off everything. Miramar always delivers, and I can't wait for the next one.
Santosh N2K8L said had lunch.
అయిపోయింది బ్రో ఇదే అనుకుంటా కొత్తది రీఫర్బిష్డ్ ఇది కొత్తది.
Holy ground here for Bangkok, Thailand as the Thai teams
4200 అంటే ఏమంటే ఎక్కువ ఉంది ప్రైస్. ఇది 5400 అంట. ఇది ఏరిస్. నాది వచ్చేసి ఇది బ్లిట్జ్.
As those two teams went head to head, Arena looking good, but full sense, my goodness, coming in cold. We saw the graphic at the start of the day.
రెండు సేమ్ ఆ పొజిషన్స్.
Now 7, 2 of those are chicken dinners. That's a win rate that is
Santosh N2K8L said AAAA price key EPS controller Konashu.
price key EPS controller కొనొచ్చు.
Basically, I don't know what happened. I think they shot enough bullets and scared Falcons away enough. Because otherwise, I kind of
Polling rate
expected them to have a fight on the north side, right? And that was the biggest question mark for me, where I think Falcons realized, okay, Full Sense has really good control here.
Adjustable force TMR joysticks.
Make a kind of dash
What do you mean?
and find them on the other side.
It felt like it was also hard for Falcons once they made that north wide rotate, which I think was masterful considering the circle of ships.
Wi-Fi, wide, Bluetooth, okay. Adjustable force TMR joysticks.
Opening firing line that they have, right? The split Full Sense has across that, controlling any rotations from the south as well, means it's really stalwart.
And I think it's a good Falcons choice. At the end of the day, sending those two forward.
ఇది ఉంది బ్రో, ఇది కంట్రోల్ చేయొచ్చు అనుకుంటా. అంటే ఎంత హార్డ్ ఉండాలని అనుకుంటా జాయ్స్టిక్ ది. Resistance roller.
PGCs have been differential by 2 to 3 points on average, right? Like you need to make sure that you're finding a way to pick up an extra.
Vibration ఉంది.
Santosh N2K8L said SS.
This situation here where they're taking the control, but it's not
Rapid trigger.
It's a 16 kill win, guys. They are fighting all the way through. They're staying 4 guys alive all the way through and through. And to get 16 with that, that's just a masterful display of exactly how to execute a late game.
Strong opportunistic plays on those third parties, being able to collapse on teams that
1000 hertz ఇది కూడా.
Yes, exactly.
Nothing special. ఇదేంది?
I can't help but feel
What this?
they've been doing their homework. They've been watching the games studiously here before getting to
దీనికేంది బ్రో ఇక్కడ కూడా బటన్స్ ఉన్నాయి.
those question marks around how they would fare.
Macros.
That has been completely dispelled. 25 points go their way.
Santosh N2K8L said D-pad only.
But Arena alongside
D-pad only, okay.
getting the big points.
It was good to
Trigger
see
locks
Red
and
Zone back in action again. You're only going to get 10, but that 25 points, a reminder for you guys at home yesterday, Falcons got 26 on that last game, from the very bottom to the very top. These guys already had a chicken dinner in their pocket, so this win is going to astronomically push them into the high point.
Every kick exactly where you want it.
Winning this thing because this propulsion is not going to be
బ్రో చాలా ఫీచర్స్ పెట్టినాడు బ్రో అసలు. కంట్రోలర్ కి అవసరమే లేదన్ని.
Nice.
69 points for a Full Sense, and the crowd goes wild here in Bangkok, Thailand, because you know anything. Actually, Full Sense is the
Santosh N2K8L said everything nice except price.
Second, but what I was saying about T1 here, obviously they only got 3 points.
ఇది చూడు ఒకసారి, ఇది చూద్దాం దీన్ని ఎట్లుందో.
Starts flicking on that corner with the M249. I almost lost my you know what. It was wild stuff.
Looking very, very. I did think they looked good. I wish they hadn't lost a little bit earlier.
Try
I think
mode,
the same thing happened
Hall
to
effect
Falcons. They set
joysticks
that
and
trap for Twisted Minds early on, which I kind of wonder if that led to the late rotations they had to go through to put them in sort of conflict with Full Sense. They got 1 kill. It was very sneaky. It was well planned. The question is, was it worth it?
For sure. For me, though, yesterday was, a lot of...
Santosh N2K8L said I am buying this thing only.
ఇది ఏరీస్ కొంటున్నావా?
We're looking at the bottom 3, the 3 Korean teams, as the pentagram still down there. 27 points is not enough, but a double-digit point to start things with. I said I'm not going to judge before we are at our halfway point. They got 2 more games before the judgment of Avenger comes upon them.
Hey, it wasn't me this time, Paper Thin. It wasn't me, all right? It was not me judging Korea. I will say Salute kind of got dogged in this game again.
He did.
Like, I do think maybe we're just over that era of Salute here compared
Ravanth
to...
Kumar S1R said hi, Anna.
Hey, hi, Ravanth.
I don't know what he was thinking. You've got Asla Pentagram with Red Zone hitting Tanvu. Tanvu goes down, and he
Hall
does
effect
an air
joystick
raid
దీనికి
for
కూడా
no
ఉన్నాయి.
reason with his team still 20 yards behind him.
Santosh N2K8L said mostly I will buy the game tomorrow.
Off of that fight, which I think was very, very smart. So I will appreciate the ability to readjust when a third party goes aggressively, and maybe I chalk it up to if you see Tanvu go down, it's a good time to push, but it seems a little too much hubris from DNF.
in that compound, like it was just a huge
Charging dog.
Between Asta, between them, like everything. But the initial send from Freaks.
Santosh N2K8L said F1 worth F bro.
Go in and go passive. It was not a send in to go
F1
and
worth
get
bro.
take
Depends
control,
bro.
right? And in that spot, like you want to take control of the ridge that is kind of over.
నీకు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంది అంటే పక్కా వర్తే.
The compound is going to come out. They're going to
If you're into F1,
they're going to try to have a little bit of defensive utilize, and that's going to get punished unless you spread out, unless you get up.
If you are not into, అనిపిస్తుంది ఏంది ఇది ఎందుకు ఆడుతున్నారు జనాలు అనిపిస్తుంది.
And when he tried to kind of spread out and kind of get in a
New
different
subscriber,
spot,
live gamers.
he
Thanks for the sub.
Completely shit on, right? It was insane.
I don't like them as a passive team. I'll also say this. In that circle, everyone had a chance. The top 5 teams did not show up in the pop.
2026 లో కూడా సేమ్ గేమే ఉంటది.
They made the most of what they could, but everyone in the middle needs to push that grind up because it's going to be very tough in the next couple.
నేను అదే అనుకున్నా. నేను 2026 లో కొత్తది వస్తాను అనుకున్నా. F1 26 వస్తుంది అనుకున్నా కానీ రాదు. 25 ఉంటది. కొంచెం
Santosh N2K8L said okay.
Let's do it then. It's going to be our second Miramar here of the
So,
day.
అందుకే
As
కొనేసా.
we have full sets leading at number 1. Can they hold on to it here for Thailand? The crowd hopes so as we get into our second Miramar of the day.
Thanks, guys. And can Full Sense hold it is the question, because just like the desk was talking about, it was Falcons and Full Sense, eyes on the exact same position to win. Look at the leaderboard. It's just going to get crazier as we go.
Yeah, no, this is such a hot start for
Santosh N2K8L said, is there any offer coming later on F1 game?
The lead up to today, like
F1
you don't have to play PGC until now, and you're
అది తెలియదు బ్రో.
the heck off like this, like that is insane stuff for Full Sense.
అది స్టీమ్ లోనే చూసాను నేను యాక్చువల్లీ.
You know, I talked about some teams like it, some don't.
ఇప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ డీల్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తుందో మనకి చెప్పరుగా. కొన్ని డేస్ ముందు వాడే వదులుతాడు.
And Full Sense is showing us something special. You know what though, Matt? You know what?
లేవో ఒక డీల్స్ వస్తుంటాయి.
I want to know what Kalaris lost. He said he almost lost his something.
Oh, well.
What do you think he lost? It can't be his mind because he doesn't have one.
Oh, I know the word, but I'm not allowed to say it. I got in trouble last time.
Oh, don't. I don't want you to get in trouble again.
Can't have another Tycon moment.
Yeah. You had your one.
I had my one. That's all I'm allowed.
You've gotten that one.
వింటర్ పబ్లిషర్ సేల్ అంట.
Your detention.
I had to work the desk for a year.
ఇట్లా ఒక సేల్ లో కొన్నా నేను. దాంట్లో హాఫ్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్రైస్ వచ్చేసింది.
Another northern circle, a little bit actually pretty similar to that first one of the last game. So again, you got a few minutes here to talk this over, to look at rotations, to see how things are going to go. What are the adjustments going to be? You know, look at this already.
Epic లో ఎంత ఉంది? Epic లో కూడా సేమ్ ఉందా?
Finds fairest. What is going on with Navi?
Day-2 Navi coming up exactly as I guess the prophecy foretells, right? It's just something happens.
Santosh N2K8L said same.
Going to take that, and PP right behind right now, T1, so a couple points early, going to feel really good. We don't have to talk too much about the circle and kind of the way it's set up. You guys are pretty familiar with it. We just talked about it a little while ago. Death Star Trench, Krutavaye, the hillsides,
the
fields, of course, around where we see the northern area around Hacienda, San Martin.
FC26, 1500, 1599.
This goes really far north.
ఇదే F1 కి పెట్టితే కొనేస్తుంటే నువ్వు మంచిగా.
Because there's nothing up there.
Yeah, maybe this time we'll head more towards water treatment or something. I'd like to see the Freaks be a little bit quicker to get deeper into this first circle this time. Last time they had to settle up with those compounds.
Bro, 1500 ఉంది.
I'd be curious. Breakers?
F1 25.
This has been fully read yet. Breakers is kind of trapped. Ranger X
Epic లో 1500 ఉంది 1.8.
Santosh N2K8L said nice.
Really weird because the other members for FN.
Santosh N2K8L said I am buying that.
Okay. 8th వరకు ఉందిలే. నెక్స్ట్ జనవరి 8th వరకు ఉంది సేల్.
Say that actually took some damage. Does get the flush.
Jan 8th వరకు ఉంది. నువ్వు నిదానంగా కొనొచ్చు.
So close, and now having FN kind of gate kept out
on the other side of this.
Yeah, Breakers is in a really awkward position right now. Now Star-Lord is
Steam లో చూద్దామా? Steam లో
to get to Breakers to either, I don't know, pick him up or bail him out, one of the two.
Steam లో లేదు. Steam లో ఆఫర్ లేదు. దాంట్లో ఉంది Epic లో.
In terms of this circle, so they will be patient once again. As we look at some of their numbers, Tanadol 6 kills.
Santoshan 2K8L said now I can buy good controller.
What can you say?
Okay,
they
okay.
just played so efficiently.
Santoshan 2K8L said with more price.
I know we kind of hit on this at the end of the last game, but this is a full sense that sometimes can feel a bit lost that we've seen historically and not know where they need to be to win the game. They know where to go that's going to keep them in the later stages. But now they're going to the areas that are going to win them the game instead, and that makes them so much scarier.
We've seen glimpses of it. You know what I mean? And you're right. We haven't seen the consistency that we'd like out of them.
నన్నడిగితే కంట్రోలర్
saw some of it earlier in the year. We saw some of it.
అంటే అంత వర్త్
This
కాదు.
may be their moment. Who knows? Just being in Bangkok, being in front of the home crowd may just be what they needed.
Remember that we did kind of see a similar path.
Santoshan 2K8L said thanks for the update or I should have wasted my money.
Okay, okay. నాకు కూడా తెలియదు జస్ట్ చెక్ చేశాను అంతే.
Underneath of them, and then they just didn't stop. We see that whenever you look down into Southeast Asia and the way they play, they understand once you get a lead, it's not time to start playing safe or do any of that other stuff. It's time to go. Now you've got some points to play with, so who cares if you get caught a bit earlier? Sure, you don't want to take a 0-point game, but if you're playing aggressive enough, it's going to be really hard to get a 0-point game.
Yeah, I think I'm totally okay with that. But we would
Santoshan 2K8L said why he's firing on air.
అంటే
팀원 개인의 실수로 좀 걸렸던 것 같고 나머지 라운드는 뭔가
నేను ఏమంటారు ఇక్కడ నేను ఉన్నా అని చెప్పడానికి ఐఎమ్ హియర్ అని.
생각을 해봤을 때 문제점을 아직 뭐 정확히 찾진 못했지만
ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక కాంపౌండ్కి వెళ్తున్నాను, కాంపౌండ్లో ఉన్నా అనుకో, వేరే కార్ సౌండ్ వచ్చినాయి అనుకో, ఎవరైనా నా దగ్గరికి వస్తున్నారు అనిపించింది అనుకో, నేను కొట్టినా అనుకో గాల్లో ఓకే ఫైర్ చేస్తే వాళ్ళకి అర్థమవుతుంది ఓకే ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు ఇక్కడికి వెళ్ళొద్దు అని అట్లా.
일단은 점수 차이가 저희가 좀 선두권 팀들이랑 차이가 나다 보니까 그냥 무조건 치킨 혹은 무조건 상위권 킬 많이 먹는 방식으로 저희가 하던 대로 게임 플레이할 것 같습니다.
I actually really respect that from Salute. A lot of times we get these interviews and it's just like, oh, everything's fine, our game plan is working, it's just we made the individual mistakes, and he started that way. But then was like, you know, we actually haven't been able to exactly figure out what's going wrong, so we're still going to try to stick to what we think will work. I enjoy that. I enjoy a little bit more brutal honesty coming up from our players.
ఒకవేళ మంచి ప్రైస్ పెడతా అంటే అది కొను బ్రో, ఇది ఉంటుంది కదా టచ్ ప్యాడ్, టచ్ ప్యాడ్ ది కొను ఇంకెక్కువ గేమ్స్ ఆడొచ్చు.
Santoshan 2K8L said I have seen some players using Bluetooth mouses.
బ్లూటూత్ వద్దులే.
Extravaganza and goodbye blue chip go into the nether realm and goodbye. But I
నార్మల్ ఇది USB.
I appreciate the honesty, yes, but I also feel like
ఇది ఉంటదిగా దాని
this is
పేరు.
the freaks. Like you guys have been so good all
Santoshan 2K8L said here in PUBG.
Oh, that's smart.
PUBG లోనా?
This is why they pay you the big bucks, man.
బ్లూటూత్ లో ఎవరు ఆడరు, వైర్లెస్ వైఫై ఉంటది.
So eyes on the circle now as Twisted Mind's going to be right next to Asla. Also Falcons running a 2-2 split pretty close.
అంటే వైర్లెస్ అంటున్నావా?
Variations in the circle, not a ton so far. We already have the Expendables playing from very
Santoshan 2K8L said okay.
ఇప్పుడు నాది కూడా వైర్లెస్. దీంట్లో ఇది ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి.
Santoshan 2K8L said SSS.
బ్లూటూత్ ఉంటుంది, 2.4 GHz ఉంటుంది.
It's going to be pretty quiet, I suspect.
కానీ బ్లూటూత్ ఎవరు వాడరు, లేటెన్సీ ఎక్కువ దాంతో. వైఫై కనెక్ట్ చేసేసుకొని
where teams were punishing some of their early splits and rotations. Now everybody's going to be tightening up, you know, off of that last game because we have a pretty similar first circle, so not going to see the same shenanigans as we take a look at some of our teams and who's been doing good. And yeah, it was full sense who was doing good in that previous game. A pretty solid game from a lot of teams, though. I think Asla, one of them, Falcons as well.
That's exactly what I was wanting to talk about was Asla. They had to deal with the Expendables trying to push into them multiple times, and yeah, okay, they had some third-party assistance, kind of slowed it all down. But they did a great job in holding what was
కొన్ని గేమ్స్ ఉంటాయి బ్రో స్టోరీ మోడ్.
Santoshan 2K8L said okay bro, see you later waving hand sign.
Okay, bye bye bye.
Asla outsurvived them.
Yeah,
that says something.
It does. No, I agree. I mean, I think that shows that Asla is still a formidable team, even though, you know, they had to get here, you know, kicking and screaming in some ways until the last half.
Santosh N2K8L said chap with Vapu.
The mistake. Like a lot of times we can look at it and we go, man, red zone was really popping off in last stage.
Santosh N2K8L said bro.
Through the group stage. So
ఏదంటే కొన్ని గేమ్స్ ఉంటాయి అనమాట స్టోరీ మోడ్లో. దాంట్లో ఎట్లా అంటే టచ్ ప్యాడ్ ఉంటుందిగా, దాంతో కూడా ఆడచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు టచ్ ప్యాడ్ ఇంకా స్క్రాచ్
Santosh said at ho chap the nav.
ఆ మూమెంట్ నీకు ఇన్ గేమ్ కనిపిస్తుంది అనమాట. ఒకవేళ ఎక్కువ మనీ పెట్టేది ఉంటే అట్లాంటివి తీసుకో, బాగుంటుంది. ఓన్లీ F1 కి అయితే 1500 మస్తు. నేను 1500 దీనికున్న ఫీచర్స్ కూడా వాడ్డాంలే యాక్చువల్లీ F1లో. నీకు F1 ఒకటే ఆడడానికి తీసుకుంటా అంటే 1500 కూడా పడుతుంది కాదు, ఇంకా తక్కువదే తీసుకోవచ్చు. స్టోరీ మోడ్స్ కూడా ఆడతా అంటే మంచి కంట్రోల్లో తీసుకో అంతే.
Santosh N2K8L said I have GTA 5 also.
ఓకే ఓకే, తీసుకో అయితే మంచిదే. టచ్ ప్యాడ్ ట్రై చేసి తీసుకోవడానికి.
And that's the thing is the squad functions so efficiently off of a lot of information. Just right now using their bodies to figure out who's going to be shooting at them as the new circle pops. Do they go for this? They're going very, very close. Hammer is going to take some shots at the very first section of it. Couple of peeks just to make sure that they can keep control and let the tail end of Twisted just try to get by her. Actually, no, they're going to make the commitment. Batulin's going to jump out. Asla in some trouble. Now the other members for Asla have to hop in their vehicles and they have to send it over here fast.
This is a read from Twisted that this is a 2-2 split, and they know.
Santosh N2K8L said oh coke bro bye. See you later.
Okay, bye bye.
Glaz and Red Zone have already arrived to reinforce, so this could just be a full-on fight.
Huh?
By the way, full sense. Who knows?
Kickstart.
Get wind of
What
this,
the fuck?
Might have something to say about it too. They were kind of rotating in this direction.
Falcons fans, don't worry. While Kickstart did run over H1, they're pretty safe. That should be rezzed, no problem. Just a couple of meds going to be burnt there. Asla Red Zone on the outside of this. Perfectix on the other side of the wall. Keep in mind, Glaz still slowly rotating around to see if he can peek back behind all of this. It's going to be a duel between him and Lou on that hillside. Glaz, here's the footsteps. Good read from Lou. Doesn't overpeak it. Takes the damage. Steps away from it.
కొంచెం వెయిట్ చేస్తుంటే అయిపోతుండే.
Now realizing that's pretty much a 3-3, but Glaz gets the knock on to Lou, and now Twisted. They're dealing with less information. It's just about the firefight.
Oh, Perfectix wins a big one there against Red Zone. Howl's going to jump up and over and take him down, though. Bails his teammate out. Batulin's trading a little bit of damage with Hammer. Red Zone trying to get somewhere safe, but there are the shots from Full Sense from behind. They have gotten into an angle where they could potentially punish.
The brain and the aim still up for Twisted as Batulin's trying to see where he needs to get into a position to keep his team alive. Example, back behind this, I think that he's been committed onto res duty so that way they can try to get themselves back into a better point, but I don't know. Actually, it looks like it's a bit more of a retreat and a flank around coming up from Batulin's.
Yeah, Asla continues to be pretty formidable in these compound holds, in defensive posturing. That is where they have shined the brightest.
Example's expecting somebody to make a push over, and instead, Asla's firmly regrouped. That's stalling out everything. Example hasn't gone for the res yet, so there's still some time that Batulin's just has to survive by himself. Finally, now Example's going for it.
They're getting help from Full Sense. Twisted Minds is got to be
Full
thanking
Sense
their lucky stars right now because some of those shots are preventing Asla from getting
థర్డ్ పార్టీస్ ఎక్కువ చేస్తున్నారు, కిల్స్ దబ్బేస్తున్నారు మంచిగా.
You know, they're having to do some calculus right now as Asla. Do we want to commit some smokes to cover our backside from Full Sense so we can really take this fight? But they, you know, with the storm here, are they going to try to make a go of this, or are they just going to continue to hold the line?
Oh, very awkward. Akatori, though, finds Luka Rux. Doesn't want to overpeak it, just goes for the nade instead. That's going to force VP to retreat, but very long range. Coming up from Beamy is Hakatori. I think took some damage from his own nade there.
That's okay, though. He's still just fine. And now they've got a little bit of help coming in.
Beamy.
And Beamy, though, has something to say.
Hakatori extends the last two up now. VP trying to see how much more control they can get. Hakatori taking a lot of damage. Just a couple of seat swaps. Nixie gets it better, though. Hakatori goes down, just extends up, and he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he just took a headshot, and that makes it all the more difficult. Really nicely done here by VP. Looked like it was going to be the Hakatori show, but Virtus Pro continues to show that, as a whole, they are one of the strongest teams on the planet right now.
Twisted managed to get it all together, and just want to get out.
What
I do
the
like the fact that we were
fuck?
seeing Twisted try to do something different, bit earlier aggression.
రిజెక్ట్ లైన్ ఇచ్చినారు బ్రో వీళ్ళు యాజ్లా వాళ్ళు.
They don't feel good about this anymore, and that's no surprise. They've got more control to try to get out of here as FS has got eyes on control of position. You said you wanted water treatment.
మంచి పొజిషన్ లో ఉన్నారు
Let's go.
Falcons.
I just wanted a different circle, to be honest. That's all I really cared about. And we got it. So very happy about that. A lot of those hills around water treatment, pretty fun. Some sheer cliffs here and there to be concerned about as this fight needs to come to some kind of conclusion sooner or later because we're at phase 3 blue.
I love this from Batulins, though. He stays behind, stays a distraction, let the other guys on his squad get out. Should be able to get in the circle if they can get past FS. So as long as he can stay there, be loud enough to keep Asla pinned in point, that's going to be great for them. 17, they've got a 2-2 split that's going to make BB's life a bit hard, but the hay bales being enough cover to keep them alive. And I don't know how, as BB is just kind of running this through, throwing out smokes already, expecting this to be a bit scarier of a stop-off, but nobody else is here.
Yeah, this is not too bad at all for BB. A doozy. He's the one I'm worried about with such little health. And Besto's absorbing bullets in front of him. Batulin springs to life. A couple players of Asla down. Howell, does he have enough time to get the heal? Is Batulin's going to give him the chance?
This is pretty much a 1v1 right now as Glass is around the outside of this. Batulin staying behind when all the other vehicles left. Now it's going to be Example coming back. Reinforcements, but that means Twisted has to be careful. Vegapie is approaching from the north. They are going to lose their position in the circle that they had.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a gamble here from Twisted. They did, in fact, bamboozle Asla, but this may cost them getting a little bit deeper into the game. Not that I think they care a ton about that. They just want to get these kills. Hammer being rezzed does get there, has just enough time, but Batu shuts down Red Zone.
Batu is just farming damage right now. Glaz is regrouped with the rest of the squad. Blue zone becoming more powerful as we go, so it's going to start being a little bit more of an attrition battle.
కొంచెం తొందర వచ్చింటే అయిపోతుండే.
Knows where 3 members are. They just don't know where Sneaky Glaz is on the outside.
Yeah, Glaz has got to get something going here if Asla is going to get out of this now because Twisted very much has the advantage. You know, with those knocks and other things, sure, you're going to be able to get the heals through to keep yourself going for Asla.
ఇప్పుడు వెళ్ళిపోతారు ఇంకా.
And now maybe a full retreat from Twisted.
Oh, FN, you went into the wrong neighborhood. BP just picks everybody out of their cars. I mean, Zenith, you're just trapped up next to that tree now, nowhere to really go. And BP's just got so many different angles that they can just take that fast, get back down to cover. They're feeling good, very centered in the circle as well.
Yeah, it's just a bad read from FN on, you know, where players could potentially be, and they gambled and paid the price. Didn't help. They got caught on either the ground or that tree. Not sure which. Sungjong, like you mentioned earlier, Matt, is going to be tracking onto Twisted as they have finally fully disengaged from Asla. Asla going to try to go south and get in between full senses. 2-2 split. We've got all of water treatment still in this circle. Let's go.
And Twisted do manage to get inside the circle. Pio puts down Lou. That is a great shot. High ground, tons of information. Sungjong other side. Pio follows it up again and makes it look easy.
God, he is
Crazy
so
shot.
on point with that. He's got one more to go. Knows they're likely stuck behind the rock.
Crazy shot,
just
bro.
want to make sure that no one else is stealing these kills. If you can help it, just go for that one. Yeah, absolutely. Get these points.
Oh, Twisted, so many good plays that you were trying to execute. Just going to come apart here as Begopa finds 3.
Legitimately, the Korean casters right
Falcons
now
are
smiling.
They're losing their minds.
They are absolutely thrilled. And I get it. I mean, Pio, you know, the original superstar, getting it done there and making it look easy.
Irina, there's not a good path over here. 17, other side of the hill, going to be at least some space to work with. BB back behind it. Correxy for VP in front of you. Falcons other side, and Asla also crashed into this point, so
nice break kickstart.
Getting on the vision on this pretty fast. Irina, I don't know where you can go. Freaks, similar idea, falling right back behind this, and everything is now prepped and waiting for it.
Freaks took a ton of damage there. Xiao Wu with some nice sprays. Not able to find knocks, but that's okay. Just open arms for VP, who have welcomed the Freaks with a knock onto Salute. If that grenade is on point, that's going to be the flush as well. Just have to wait and see, but you have Irina in there, so Corexy has to turn his attention. He does end up finally claiming Salute in the long run. Now Levante gets DL.
Oh, 17. Everybody just running right down this path.
Ooh.
Jiao finally goes down. It's going to be Duck Juice and Jiao Bei. Gets knocked by Tanbu. These guys come in tail end of it and instantly spin back around onto 17, making their life miserable.
And they knew they were there.
Drive-bys are tough, bro,
going to
actually.
get involved in this fight as well. Love to steal some points. A lot of T1 maybe thinking about this. 7-7 trying to do what he can to take down Tanvu there. Spots him momentarily outside of the smokes, but can't really find much in the way of damage. He's got Delwyn right in front of him. Immediately gets lit up. That grenade, oh, so close.
Oh, 17. T1 on the other side of it. They've just got to fight their way into a gate kept position now, finding themselves what they were trying to do to everybody else. But the Expendables, too many open firing lines. Duck Juice is going to go down. BB also has some vision onto where Tanvu's at. Glories is getting called back in, though.
Huh. The Expendables are just a chaotic team. And Tanvu takes down Lil Ghost, but quickly it's Besto who gets him knocked. So they're holding on by just a thread.
This is going to allow 17 to get back in. I think the Glories doesn't have anywhere they can really land. Namiga is jockeying up against T5 to the north. T1 still wants to contain in 17. Work's not done for 17 to get in the circle. BB just leapfrogs ahead. Circle pops, and we are staying at water treatment.
Yeah. Oh, hello, my bad. Now it's T1's turn to get third party. They're getting shot at from behind.
Bro, మంచి ప్లేస్ తీసుకున్నారు బ్రో వీళ్ళు DNF వాళ్ళు.
Right towards T1. This could be a
BGPది మంచి పొజిషన్ అసలు. Crazy position.
The hillside. How's the timing? It feels like T1 might be there just a second earlier. Nade's going to be coming out. Peaks pop up at the perfect time. BB loved the aggression, but just a second too late.
Somehow, some way, T1 either heard this or saw it coming. They're going to light up some of those players a little bit more with the grenades. There is a return, though. A doozy catches EN, raining up on point, finds the headshot.
And everything comes back down as a doozy is going to get spotted. Raining finishes it clean. Now T1 has to get in the circle. Namiga to the north of them also has to do the same. T5 kind of holding up Namiga, and a firefight is other side of the circle. It's going to be full sense, sending it right next to Begapop.
Yesterday it was EN for Team 1, who was absolutely fragging out. Today it's raining so far. Has 5 kills in this match. Pio in the center circle, high ground position. Full sense, a much trickier push this time around. They're the ones.
వాడు వేరే స్నైపరే వాడతాడు పియో గాడు ఓన్లీ
Sungjong with the off angle here to cover. Gyuyeon ahead a little bit of Pio. This is not easy.
Songyang.
This is a beautiful crossfire. If Full Sense goes any further north, Pio is just waiting to pop the heads of anybody, and Full Sense knows it. They know that this is way too hazardous to walk into. They've left Belmont behind. T1, they've got to go after Namiga. Namiga's got eyes to go north after T5, so Levante is just going to be a bit ahead of T1. Couple of shots to force it, but could also stall out any plan Namiga had. They were trying to get right up underneath T5. No! Levante just sends it in.
They're in trouble. They're getting cut down between two different teams. Already Layash gone. Raining wants to see if he could try to find a little bit more on that off angle. Namiga trying to get somewhere into safety. Look at Bagel Pa Khan showing up.
Yeah, he's running over here to see if he can get involved. High ground's going to be a bigger problem now for T5 as well as Namiga. Both good nade coming up from Fluky. You can tell him I bad down, but Akan, the beneficiary of it all.
Yeah, Akan there is going to claim that point, and he's going to have to back off a little bit. Levante sits him down. EN finishes off Theraton 5. And somehow Namiga's still alive.
So Begapo went to the east after the kills in the firefight. Full Sense is now chasing behind them. Yuyeon's already down. Songjong's had to surrender over onto that side of it. Namiga still just fighting for their lives. Getrox goes down, and T1
down చేయలేదా చేసినాడుగా
as Begapo is on the other side of Namiga.
I mean, T1 is in full form right now in terms of their team fighting. They are going to wipe the floor with
ఏంటి బ్రో అట్లా గొంతున్నారు T1 వాళ్ళు
12-4 VP. It is a very kill-heavy game for two squads, just feasting on everybody else. Bigapa in the lower section of the hill now has to deal with T1 high ground, and it's going to be tight, trying to defend and force PO away.
Tough fight coming up, though. T1, have they kind of gone too far? Have they not? Do they not have enough gas to cross this bridge? Oh my, who cares? It's a banger grenade. Heather's like, heck yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Ian's on top. Heather bold on top of the hillside. Does not care. That's Begaba going down. Back into water treatment, though. The circle's popped. Favors the Freaks positioning as well as Full Sense on top. That means Falcons got to move.
Full Sense, we're just given a gift because Bago Ba's encampment of them got abandoned to go try to third party a fight that they ended up just getting wiped in. So this is now a much tougher situation here for T1 if they were to angle towards Full Sense. There's a big gap between these mountains, and Full Sense has the circle positioning. So T1 probably has to make a different approach or do something absolutely just insane.
Squad 1 on our leaderboard. Full Sense high ground, getting control over position next to T1, who's presently in third after a massive kill count that they're trying to set up. But T1's got to get into the circle. Falcons presently in that second place position. Low ground are going to have to deal with VP oh so close that are holding down fifth on the overall leaderboard.
My question is, does Clories have any guns, and if so, what are they?
I don't think so.
I don't know, but I'm genuinely curious. T1 there takes a fair amount of damage on the way out. The good news for them in a way is that it got spread out between a lot of their different players. However, they're going right at the Freaks.
Oh, I mean, there's nowhere better to go. Just send it where you can get it. Good combination coming up. Ian down, type down. Some cover now coming out, at least for a Heather with the vehicle inside. Oh! Fans and Palace doesn't pop the way they want, and Freaks keep us on
beginner mistakes anni.
What in the heck happened with that Panzer? But the Freaks will take it, as they were very ready for this. VP as well getting involved. Raining, does he have any more in store for us? Smoke grenade. Go around the corner here as soon as he pops out, he's dead to rights.
Back on the high ground, full sense, looking down at poor old Clories. Just trapped. Oh, he does have something.
Okay.
I don't know what he has, but not a lot.
It's better than
remember that Clories did get recalled, so he just had to land fairly late, mid-sections. I want to say
like top load netwe migilna DNF
this was already just clustered with teams, so didn't manage to get any loot. Falcons managed to get their other player back up, so should be able to run into the circle pretty clean on this side. Plenty of cover, as the only real big problem is going to be full sense. Tigger up on top.
Full sense crazy position, bro.
Unless they have to come down that hill into the water treatment, but they might have an opportunity because all these other teams are going to be scraping away at each other, kind of distracted here. Some smokes have to come down to give Corexi a little bit of breathing room to keep DNF from getting full vision, probably as well, full sense. And a headshot connects onto Tiggleton, I believe. Belmoth just doing a little bit of a peek battle. Oh, this is not a pleasant spot for the Falcons.
Yeah, the cover is good on one side, but this angle is going to be hard.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Has some of their
Falcons ki kuda untadi.
The Freaks have no vision on what anything is going on top with full sense. They can't get any angles to go for anything without just stepping out into the open. So that's just kind of surrendered control of the north. Hey, Falcons. Looks like some mortar's going to be landing next to you. Nothing connects, though.
Yeah.
Paina wall undi em kaadu gore na kodaka.
There's plenty of concrete in the way. I suspect that I think this is totally. I mean, Danadol's got it dialed in, but I don't think he can actually hit him.
If he can actually get it right into the groove there, he could get a knock. But it has got to be precision on those hits.
That's true. I just can't quite find it. As Clories did go down, so we're into our top 4 teams. As the Falcons, 3 strong, have a bit of a tunnel to work with to get in a little bit, and can just hold on. Here's Nixie's attempt.
It's like, I heard you doing this. I'm going to send my own. Why not? Got nothing else to do, so pop 1. Got 2 more to go.
Yeah, it might be about right with 227 because it is uphill, so it's going to be a little bit further than what you would measure on the map due to the high ground. But Full Sense was already thinking other plans. Yeah, really, actually, well read in terms of distance there by Nixie.
ఇప్పుడు దొరుకుతారు ఫుల్ సెన్స్ వాళ్ళు ఫాల్కన్స్ కి.
Lower where you've got those like round area wells that you can play
Come on.
store the water at, or you can go for the assault onto the Freaks warehouses. This
Come
is
on.
pretty hard to decide from, but the shots coming out from the Falcons are going to make it to Tigger. Doesn't have too many other areas to go except for right next to the Freaks.
Yeah, if you can just
ఇప్పుడు బ్యాడ్ స్పాట్ లో ఉన్నారు బ్రో.
down here. Nixie now has an inkling of where Full Sense might have rotated to. It's just, does he have the distance, Red?
I was worried he was right
Oh, just shoots himself?
That, I was like, please, no.
Nice.
That would be a classic PUBG moment.
Did he get the knock at the right time? Reinforcements for Nixie.
Ooh.
Where's the mortar going? How's it going to land?
Oh.
It's very, very close. Full Sense has to
Come
run
on.
away from their down player of Thanadol, and it's just getting dicier and dicier. Freaks.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
In this direction, but don't
Abba.
have vision yet.
Yeah, the Freaks would love to get involved in this fight and claim some points, but they just can't really afford to give away any other players at this stage in the game. Another grenade going to bounce wide. Danadol has to be abandoned here. A parting headshot.
Nice.
Look at the Falcons go.
This is so well played from the Falcons. Full Sense, they, right as soon as they came down into the avenue that we saw Falcons get some vision in, they wanted revenge for the walk that the Falcons had to do a moment ago. Now Full Sense.
VP ఏం చేస్తుంది? ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు VP? ఇద్దరేనా?
VP East Side, Falcons West.
This is anybody's game, it feels like. It could really come down to just individual plays. Who's going to hit some shots? Who's going to be able to outduel their opponents and kind of make the decision to last a little bit longer? Again, connecting is Tiggleton. You know, full
Come on,
sense.
Tiggleton.
I think maybe just barely some of that fence is in the circle on the outside of the warehouse. They can kind of prone down behind maybe and just try to stay safe, but it's tough.
This is all the Falcons get right here. They've got what, some tires. They've got the wall that's in front of them.
Full sense వాళ్ళు గట్టిగా హోల్డ్ చేయొచ్చు యాక్చువల్లీ
just slim pickings.
Falcons ని రాకుండా అసలు.
Falcons both, and Full Sense kind of knows that. That's why they're playing the other side of the wall, hoping that maybe the Freaks might have to contend with it, but really it's going to be Corexi and the Falcons lined up against each other.
Yeah, Corexi there tagging Tiggleton's head. Curious about the helmet situation here. Full Sense, their turn for revenge. Belmoth gets a knock on to H-Win. 2 grenades here could be devastating. He goes for the left side. I thought he was going to go for the Falcons.
I think it's maybe just to try to shoo anybody away from VP, because Nixie did look like he wanted to go for that. If we can see,
come on, DNF.
Continue throwing enough nades over
this is the
there
time.
to keep VP from having to go on the angle.
Nice.
Evan spots out
Nice.
Tigger, a bit of an overstep.
All right, let's see. That was a nice reposition there from Heaven to get a little bit higher up. Can't find the flush with the first grenade. Belmoth just trying to buy time and buy
come on,
space with
Falcons ఇదే time.
But look at this. Human's also playing the other side of the wall. This means that Full Sense is in a lot more trouble than they were just a second ago. Belmoth just caught out. Nowhere for him to go. The Freaks, they've got the warehouses on lock, and it's going to be the Falcons and VP with no cover and a lot of trouble.
And here goes Heaven. He finds Tiggleton on the off angle.
ఏం కాదు DNF విన్నైనా ఏం కాదు
to get alive,
no issues.
to stay alive a little bit longer, maybe see if he can outlast VP.
DNF
15 kills in this game.
I think that when we hit the top 4 teams still alive, that Freaks were still in that 16th position. So now they've got the chance for a climb in a big way. These are some very needed points. They've got a lot of advantages to work around, but it is VP on the other side, and we know these guys can clutch.
Center circle dot is right in between the warehouses, just south of them ever so slightly, and Nixie's trying to claim some of that space, so a ton of smokes having to be used, but Corexi pinned down. If you can get him up there with you, maybe this can go well. Look at all those blue zones.
2v3 DNF win కావాలి.
Any peeks back onto this one. Freaks slowing back down the pacing. DL going to be the guy that's keeping eyes on Nixie's position. Corexi in the crossfire with Nixie. They want to set up
nice
so
shots.
badly. They just can't get. It's damage upon damage. And remember, these guys are just like Falcons. We did watch a lot of the Falcons movement, but VP had to continue this push under duress time and time again. So they're coming in pretty battered, while the Freaks pretty fresh.
Yeah, but it's all the smokes that had to be used. You have one frag as well left here in Corexi's hands for Virtus Pro. So still could do some damage with that, could turn the tide of the battle. Nixie takes a headshot.
Nice shots.
That is rough, because he's going to have to back down, go for the heels. That's going to seed over
వాడు దాన్ని ఎక్కినాడు
saw Nixie playing from. It was
triangle
as much as he could for the wall itself, but it's just going to collapse down. Human, one side, having to see if he can sneak around, find some way to control the other side of this. Nixie, I think, already has a read on it. Human does take some damage, but it's going to be really hard to step back around. Heaven, holding down the angle just a moment ago. It's just Corexi, the last one up. Playing
nice.
Nothing can happen. The Freaks get it.
GG's. Human వాడే.
Has to be a big sigh of relief there for the Freaks, because it, like you said, they were at the very bottom of the leaderboard in that game, and they're able to climb out a little bit. Not a big kill count, but a win's a win.
But in the later stages, VP, Falcons, Full Sense, this is going to start getting scary for the squads that are just trying to catch up to those ones that are at the top of the leaderboard.
Don't forget T1 put up a tremendous amount of kills in that game too, so the rich getting richer in that one.
This is an absurd start to the day. As we talked about momentum and how important it was to start your day well. Well, these squads at the top don't want to let the pedal off of anything. They just want to keep on going, get as much as they can, and everybody else trying to get scraps.
GS. PMGC చూద్దాం.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bro.
Give it up one more time.
Bro.
Africa, everybody.
దానికి కూడా ఇదే బ్రో.
And we're back and we move on. Next we have
the name on the anchor.
Award. This award goes to the team that traveled the longest total distance throughout the show match.
สำหรับรางวัลต่อไปนะคะจะเป็น Chicken Made Tourist Award ค่ะซึ่งรางวัลนี้นะคะก็จะมอบให้กับทีมที่เดินทางเนี่ยรวมไกลที่สุดตลอดการแข่งขันโชว์แมตช์นี้
ఆకాష్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆఫ్రికానా
And the award
మాట్లాడుతున్నారా
goes to Team Latam Force.
వీళ్ళది అయిపోయిందా
Congratulations. Please come to the stage.
ขอเสียงปรบมือให้ลาทัมฟอสด้วย Please.
That's a rough.
But now we have 4E going up against
చూద్దాం వీళ్ళు ఎట్లా ఆడతారో
coming through all this.
Go Lover going to get crashed upon. And I think G1 and 3 might just go out to the blue. The Western European team.
Look at that. Look at the
That's
left.
so
Look at
big.
the player. The pan phone case, man. That is hard, actually. I would
ఏంది
not
ఇట్లుంది
want to have that one. I'd rather have
ప్యానా
I don't want to drop that phone. You just hit yourself.
ప్యాన్ ఎందుకు కొట్టుకున్నాడు వాడు
knocked out.
It's a massive one.
దాంట్లో మొబైల్ ఉంది అని మాత్రం చెప్పొద్దు
Put that one in your pocket. There we go. Looking at Pacho from SF Fighters.
వాట్ ద ఫక్
That's got a ton of bullets here. Way more than enough utility, especially to make some damage onto KM.
ఏంది బ్రే గ్రాఫిక్స్ ఏంది గేమ్
Doesn't have
ఏంది
enough to really eliminate the entire squad. I think that here that push from KM is going to be very impactful in this match.
It is, and now CIS taking that fight to Africa. But in this moment, I mean,
GS9
yeah, Monarch.
ఇండియా ఉందా దీంట్లో ఆఫ్రికా ఉంది
The zone is going to be pushing in so many teams.
ఓ
honestly, man.
ఏంది
So
బ్రో
many
ఇది
teams on that edge. And KM was able to win that fight.
Everyone died to the east, and Yakuza's still alive, and he's in circle. There's no way as a solo he makes it happen. Can he, as a solo, get himself this chicken dinner for the show match?
I believe.
Oh, I think we're all believing right now. Can a solo make it happen? Can a solo
ఇదేంది హెల్త్ ఓకే
make dreams into reality?
చచ్చిపోయినాడు
Africa now still 4 players pushing up 23 eliminations.
ఏంది
Look at him, Frix. Look at Yakuza making sure
పిఎన్జీస్ కూడా లోడ్ కావట్లే వాళ్ళ ఇది
up to 6, and he actually just eliminated
She-
somebody. That's going to be very important, man, because
Logo,
we've seen
team
how
logo.
aggressive that Africa team has been.
If he eliminates the solo player Rabon of S Fighters, I think he can win it.
Oh.
I think he can win it. I mean, look at the ammo count. He doesn't have a helmet though, and only a tier 2 helmet, so vest. So that could be a little bit of an issue. He has 2 grenades. Still potential for the Infinite Squad to make it happen here for the show match. KM, JS9, double JS9, great weapon on this map. And the Akimbo, that could make some real big damage.
Yeah, and the deployable flares are going to be coming down, but I mean, how much is it going to help you, especially with this terrain that we're currently working with? They don't really have that many nades. We don't have any explosive bows or anything along those lines, so the terrain changes aren't really going to be helping you that much.
The cover flares, I saw them used up by the Africa Squad.
240 ammo
MS legal. Ready to rock up. A few rocks also in the terrain. A few trees here and there. The Blues just been pushing them over. Flash finding one. S Fighters are down. Out of this game entirely. Down to the last 3 teams 7. As the Blue is going to engulf them out of the zone.
And there you have it. Africa now making the push. It could be Yakuza. You were absolutely right, Max. Now
No
he's going to be able
way.
to secure another one. By the way, Africa up to 25 eliminations. What an absolute maniacs of a squad for this team. But Yakuza, you've been by yourself pretty much for most of the match.
Whoa.
Can you clutch up? He's going to be going up against Harmies. Switching to the shotgun. Waiting for them to get closer. Waiting to see if he can just clutch it up by himself against the squad that ended up with 25
లూట్ చేస్తుంటే కొట్టాడు ఎందుకు
Going to be on point, slightly off, and now Yakuza sees an A coming his way. He's going to start throwing some back. So above the trade-off, game of ping pong. That one's looking good. It finds the knock, Yakuza. There's no way you make a solo chicken dinner happen here. And now over to the Asrock X870 trying to push over the rock. Unfortunately, taking
Bro,
severe damage.
what the
Able to hide at the last second.
You gotta
Good for
push.
the heal.
You gotta push if you're Africa. You know you were able to hit some massive shots right there. Not enough time though, as Yakuza's gonna be able to heal up. Yakuza trying to see if he can clutch it up by himself from the whole match. This squad ended up dying to the command. Oh my
బ్రో ఏం ఎట్టిగాలో బ్రో చీ
Clutches it as a solo in the 2025 PUBG Mobile Superstars United match.
Infinix team making it happen here. PUBG Mobile
had me terrified because these guys were so close to winning another one. Back to back. Cool. But man, that's a runaway that nobody wants to chase.
Yeah, no, that would be brutal. Considering it's only 8 games deep here, having that kind of lead, having the crowd behind you as well, very, very powerful.
ఈ స్పోర్ట్ చూసినట్టే లేదు దాన్ని చూస్తుంటే
right now. And with Miramar done here,
వాడు ఎటో చూసుకుంటూ దొరుకుతున్నాడు కానీ వాని పైన చూడకుండా.
Yeah, after the next one, we're obviously halfway through here. That's where we pass our judgment upon them, right? And I think with here, Freaks being able to step up in a few games, double digits, is good to see from Korea. But T1 is that ever-consistent team here. And right now, if this next game, that 16-point gap from 5th to 6th, if those teams on the bottom half, if they don't start jumping in, they're going to be left in the dust.
T1, it's Heather and all the guys stepping up, apart from Type. Imagine if he suddenly turns on. Anyway, we've got to go to a break. When we return, the wildcard maps are on the way here. 8 games done. 10.
Do not want to make a mistake in this qualification race for this rolling start, and here we come. Merc on Merc as we head down for a rather murky start in terms of the weather too.
So far today. I
rest my valise.
Goodness me. 4 cars come through.
Wow.
Into pit lane.
Now, we don't know... well, let's have a look at what happened, first of all.
We haven't seen what happened.
Augusta Farfus in 3rd place goes through, and it's the police that they come together, and it's Junkadella who may well have been the cause, because Junkadella now backwards, and I think he had a damaged car anyway, but Junkadella is the car that's turned round. The Porsche of damage to the car, but we'll keep you informed as to whether... Oh, no! Oh, mayhem! And there's millions and millions and millions of dollars of damage here at the mighty Macau. And that is one of the worst GT accidents I've ever seen here. And in the place, the city that is a gamble, the lottery has absolutely come to an end. Right at the front of here is the 911. And you can see...
బ్లాక్ బడ్జెట్ చూద్దాం.
వీటన్నిటికీ
ఎంత FPS వస్తుంది దీనికి? 5090 120 యావరేజ్. బాగుంది బ్రో గ్రాఫిక్స్. Same like PUBG. $10K watching, let's go.
Next, we're adjusting the power of a few guns slightly. The M416, SKS, and SLR are all getting buffs to their recoil, while the AUG and VSS recoil is getting a slight nerf. The VSS's firing sound has also been increased. There are a few more little changes on the list, so make sure you check out the patch notes for full details. For fans of alternate game modes, Team Deathmatch and Intense Battle Royale are getting some updates, including updated care packages for TDM and the recall system added to IBR. We're also bringing back UGC Alpha with some new additions. Add to all that our new rank season and a new Survivor Pass, which you can read all about in the patch notes. Update 39.1 is here, so grab a Blue Zone grenade launcher, seek out a TDM care package, and give your enemies a cold reception on Erangel. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Got 3 likes. We are about to hit 10 likes. Let's go. ఏమన్నా చలి పెడుతుంది అసలు. రియల్ పాషే అదే అనుకుంటా బ్రో గిఫ్ట్ విన్నర్ కాదు ఎంబీపీకి వైట్ కలర్. వైట్ కలర్ దాన్ని అదే అనుకుంటా.
Great game for the Freaks, but I have my eyes on this leaderboard. We're moving into the halfway stage after this game, and we're starting to get a break point that's happening after 5th place. We've got to see these middle pack teams start popping off. It is too close at this point.
Yeah, it's getting really top heavy, and you know, the teams that are doing well, or we're seeing them at the end of the games here already today, so that's scary for everyone who wants to try to make that run, try to make that challenge for the second half of this like you're talking about. So happy for the Freaks, they get a win, but again, a low kill win, and it's nice that it comes on Miramar because it has been a map they have struggled on this year.
So for the Freaks, to give them benefit of the doubt, it's also very hard to deal with anything whenever you've got full sense that's directly above you, right? They're going to be the ones that are actually controlling water treatment in and of itself. I'm just still looking at the Expendables 17, BB, Namiga. It's 20 points now into 5th for these squads already. Yes, that is one big game, but that requires a falter from Full Sense, Falcons, VP, T1, and Na'Vi. And the only one of those teams that feels like there's a bit of a slide going on with is Na'Vi.
Yeah, Na'Vi just really not able to get it done, and the Falcons are...
He's feeling himself, man.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he is. He definitely is. He has been tremendous throughout all of PGC here. Clearly, the Falcons have had some good ideas coming into today with their early rotation trap on a Twisted into back-to-back pretty good games for them. They're just keeping on, and if they get another win, they're probably going to find themselves right at the top of that leaderboard with or above Full Sense, who knows. So you got to keep your eyes on the Falcons because, like they said, they tend to get one win a year. They haven't gotten one yet this year.
Yeah, they're saving it to the end. That's the whole reason they were getting 3rd place so many times, right? They were letting Twisted get all the victories, do all that other stuff, so that way they could get into PGC.
That was it, yeah. That was the game plan all along.
Also, Twisted, give me a stick so that way I can hit you guys. Do a thing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Twisted. I mean, they're doing some funky stuff. They tried to bamboozle Asla in that last game.
But that is a modification from Twisted that we're seeing, okay, we need points.
Yeah.
They knew what they wanted to go for, but then it ended up all weird, really fast. And shout out to Asla, they managed to hold up against them very well.
Yeah, even though they probably could have come out of that a little bit better if they don't fall for Batulin's trap, but Batulin's is Batulin's. He has the biggest brain.
Well, that's the whole thing is, right? Twisted was going for points. They send 3 people into the circle. Batulin stays behind just to make sure that they stay safe, I'm assuming. Then he gets a multi-knock. Then everybody from Twisted has to surrender the area that they've got inside the circle to come back out. The firefight just gets really awkward and weird then, and it all just kind of tails into a very peculiar fight for Asla as well as Twisted, but both showing their mettle. But the issue is then you got to go into the circle and immediately just get peppered from bullets from high ground. That never feels good. Tego, though, known for sometimes having some flatter areas. Maybe they can avoid it. Rotations, we'll have to see. Plane path, easy peasy for everybody. It's just straight through the middle.
Yeah, this one not too bad at all. Some of the southern stuff going to be a little bit far, but that's not the end of the world. We've seen some pretty terrible plane paths at times, and this one is not going to be that to start. Is just looking to see if anything out of the ordinary begins in the early part of the game. Every once in a while, we see people who have the same vehicle in mind. And will that be the case here?
Hello.
With this central plane path? maybe a few
That's fine.
positional battles in that regard. Looks like Bagel Pa just going to go out towards Buksansa, Azla out, everybody out of the plane, and I'm not seeing anything too crazy yet. Maybe Type and Star-Lord, pretty close to each other there, though. That one might be a little dicey.
Around Buksansa, we often see a couple of people jockey for a vehicle or two. So Songjong as well as Namiga. See if they're going for the same spot. I think Songjong's just going to go ahead and relent it early, say, nah, not really worth it. Instead, we'll just go to Buksansa itself. Everybody else pretty comfy, cozy. Long stretch coming up in the north for Evan Pochon. Star-Lord's going to be on the other side. In the circle goes the island in the north.
All right, so Freak-centered circle early. Are they going to be able to replicate game number 2 and go back-to-back here in game number 3? Hard to say for sure. As a lot of this part of the northern island is very much in play. So not too much other than kind of the army base is about the only part of this island that the circle doesn't really like to go to.
Yeah.
So everything else pretty fair.
But the hillside south of it, boy, that gets a lot of love. We've seen a lot of very crazy games there. It's very fun. So I probably don't have to break that area down too much for you guys, but just know there's a lot of trenches, a lot of verticality that's up to the north. Wolsong, we have been seeing get some attention internationally.
Yeah, finally.
So couple of interesting fights that could happen on the opposing side of the hill to the east of it. Then, of course, there's the valley in between the two mountains going right into Godok itself and just the kind of flat lands that lead all the way down to the south. And a lot of players right now hoping that this goes north just because it can support so many more teams.
Yeah, Heaven continuing to be a bright spot for the Freaks these last couple of days in the grand final. Salute got knocked out early, but the Freaks still able to hang on and get the win. So that will be man of the match there for Heaven. Just nailing it at the end of the game. Had a good position on the crates inside of the warehouse to shut Full Sense basically out of the equation. And just continues to be a rock-steady player for the Freaks.
Evan Pochon goes for Army Base, so they should be able to get some pretty decent loot over there. A lot of squads not inside the circle. Spindle's making an early movement to try to get themselves in zone, knowing the fact that they are in that drop-down position in 6th place, about 16 points back behind Navi right now. BP, though, feeling a lot better inside the circle. They have early track for Godok if they want it, but nobody really wants to go Godok too early because getting out of it can be a pain.
Yeah, it's weird. Godok's such a finical, just a tricky spot to play from because circles kind of like to go around it, but you're not. Oh, what? Okay, of course. What?
PO.
Of course.
Just PO things.
He's just back at it. He had one day of prep. That's all he needed.
I mean, look, he loves the bolty. Just stick to what you know, right? That got him really.
Get him another AWM, please. God,
I love that. That follow-up shot, just near on 2 in a row.
Yeah, just nasty stuff. But to talk about Godok a little bit, like it is tricky. It's in Korean it means like the lonely city or the lonely so it is kind of lonely because the circles around it are tricky to play outside in. You know what I mean? Like it's really tough.
If it goes north, you've got those hillsides that are problems, and if it goes south, it's so open because they've got the fields that are around it. So you're kind of forced to go Godok or just die, and that means that whenever the circle moves away from it, everybody just gets like pinched on top of each other, big firefights. So pinched on top of each other, big firefights. So eyes on that. VP has decided southeast just to be safe. Good read, good safety play early. Navi looks like they might be following in back behind them. The Freaks are running a very wide 2-2 split. Playing both sides.
Logitech 3279 said black budget access vachine ha bro.
Black budget access వచ్చిందా bro? లేదా bro నేను చూడలేదు. అది స్ట్రీమ్ చూసి వస్తుందంటగా కోడ్.
That's enough already at the start. 2 for PO. Namiga in some trouble. Hell, my bad. At least getting some damage back. Got to go around the rock, though. Be careful. I think caught a bit of airtime. Now just running for the hills and
అది జస్ట్ 3 days అనుకుంటా కోడ్ అది కూడా.
Logitech 3279 said ha nenukuda waiting.
Waiting.
His ways of thinking about the early stages.
నువ్వు స్ట్రీమ్ చూస్తే నీకు ఆటోమేటిక్ వచ్చేస్తుంది అనుకుంటా 30 minutes స్ట్రీమ్.
In terms of just finding those early picks, finding those moments, he's so good at that early game prep. and he just makes it just awful for anybody around him. Oh boy, what's going on over here?
T1's also pretty close to this, but doesn't have vision. So said up on top, and they're trying to use the elevation the best edge, but this is just now become to hunker down.
Lahithsatya 3279 said early access playtest running caught hat.
అది నాకు తెలిసి మొత్తం కలిపి 6 days ఆడొచ్చు అనుకుంటా అంతే. అందుకే ఇంకా 6 days కోసం ఎందుకు అంత ట్రై చేయాలని నేను ట్రై చేయలేదు.
Anywhere they can take them. Just got to hit one more shot here as Zosid, and maybe could be a difference maker, but nobody on 17 really giving him the opportunities he's looking for.
ఇప్పుడు 3 days మరి కొన్ని days కి మళ్ళీ 3 days ఓపెన్ అయిద్దంట.
Not a ton of bullets left back behind it.
జస్ట్ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ కోసం ఇట్లా చేస్తున్నారు వాళ్ళు.
You know, Navi just wants to get 17 either dead and out of this position or just out of the position in general. Because this is Hakatori that's gone down early, and we know that Hakatori can pop off. So losing him is a massive detriment to the squad. We know they can still play though. Sosed has had some
main game launch అయితే అప్పుడు ఆడదాం అనుకున్నాను నేనైతే.
So don't count them out just because Hakatori's down, but you know they want him back.
Day one best player, hands down. He was just ridiculous, but today is a very different day for Navi. Only 60 points right now. They have not been able to get much going. As Full Sense has been getting a lot going up to 77.
Here's the problem though. They're approaching the other side of the bridge, and this is going to be Thanadol we're going to get some information from.
และตอนนี้นะคะก็อยู่กับธนดลนะคะจาก Full Sense นั่นเองนะคะสุดยอดมากคือแมตช์1นี่คือแบบไม่มีใครหยุดยั้งเจ้าได้จริงๆมันเกิดอะไรขึ้น
ไม่ได้มีเวลา
ก็เรียกว่าอะไรก็ค่อยๆเล่นมาตามเกมเรื่อยๆแล้วก็นั่งดูแมตช์ล็อกอะไรว่าจำนวนคนเหลือเท่าไหร่บ้างแล้วก็ฟังน้ำหนักดีๆก็เกมครับ
ก็คือวางแผนมาดีซึ่งเขาบอกว่าสามารถทำไปได้ถึง15คิวแล้วก็ในเกมนั้นเราคือทำคะแนนไปได้ถึง25คะแนนแล้วคือตอนนี้เราก็ยังอยู่ในท็อปวันด้วยการคุมเกมของเรานะตอนนั้นหรือว่าในทีมของเราการ manage ตรงนั้นคือมันเป็นยังไงบ้าง
ก็ค่อยๆเล่นแล้วก็คุยกันดีๆว่าเราจะทำอะไรกันตอนนั้นครับผม
Okay, so I just asked him that at match 1 is such an unstoppable game with 15 kills and chicken for 25 points that put them right now top 1, the first top right now. So what clicked for the team in that game and how did they manage to take the full control from the start to finish? So they just really done such a preparation well, and they just count how many of their teams left and how many of the other teams left too. So that's why the game is really under their control and have done such a really good result. So here with Tanadon, so let's cheer for Full Sense.
Yeah, I mean, keeping it simple for Full Sense. It seems like I'm kind of curious about Begopa right now. They are camping near Ohyang, where Namiga is looking to, I think, get their revives.
Yeah, so just to give you a quick breakdown, it looks like Leosh went down there so that way he could go for a revive. Begopa is going to be very close to that. As is called for an emergency pickup. Full Sense, while we were doing the interview, got the other side and vision what was going on with 17, so they're kind of stuck there, which means that Navi can't go for their blue chip. Namiga is very far into the east, also inside the blue, and Azla getting ready to get yoinked.
Okay. Into the air they go. Tons of space out on the northwest and kind of northeast sides of these circles for Azla. Looks like they're going to have it timed so they'll see the circle 2 pop and can kind of make a determination of what to do. Falcons are now wrapping all the way through Army Base where FN is left and set up a camp at the crossroads up on the very northern side of the island. Kind of curious if anything's going to come out of that. FN, you know, sometimes with these wide splits on the edge they like to do early can be a little bit dangerous for them in terms of if they aren't really fully prepared for a team to show up on their flanks. I have noticed that kind of causes them some grief. Speaking of grief, Picklepaw wants to grief the heck out of Namiga.
But Leosh is just not in a rush. Not in the slightest. Oh, they even know. Look, they keep pinging. They know where he's moving from. He's just kind of stuck here, man. This is very bad. Feels bad. But at the same time, Begopa, you got to get in the circle yourself. The new circle does pop and stays pretty much where everybody was expecting to.
What the fuck? Zone ikkadunna kuda chudu bro illu asli okadi kosam modultaleru position.
Just Navi going to have to regroup. It's Namiga, Begopa. That's about it. That's the guys that need to get in the zone.
Yeah,
ఇంతమంది
it's just a matter of
నిండిపోయింది
did
జోన్ మొత్తం.
Leash get any idea that Vegapa's out there? I suspect that he did because he's not really moving too much. T1 trying to group up out of a 2-2 split, going to be crossing paths with our top team in the lobby right now. Not much to be said about that other than Tanadol took about half damage. In the air is Ozla, Nixie, and a lot of other players shooting at him though.
They're sitting it right on top of T5, landing danger close early. Hammer just seeing if he can get a little bit of a different angle than the rest of the squad. Red zone on top of this as well. T5 doesn't like it. They've got to retreat. Other side of T5 though has to be cautious. Evan Pochon was very, very close. So Asla does make landfall. They're at least going to be safe for now. The other members for Evan Pochon though are retreating from T5 because they saw Falcons in rotate.
Yeah, so just kind of everybody trying to claim as much space as they can. The Expendables is a team that does not mind going into this side of Godok, especially with the circle that's going to be shifted in that direction. Leash, oh boy, he is trying to bandy his way or something out of this, but he's just gone.
There's nothing that can be done for him. A lot of our squads right now are going full Godok because what else you got to do? I think we can see the Expendables that you were talking about a second ago with 17, a couple of shifts away. Songjong finishes that out. There you go. BB also has committed into Godok as well. Other members from Namiga, very far
ఒక్క డెడ్ బాడీ లూట్ చేసేకి ఎంతమంది వస్తారు
The revives, I believe, for Namiga, so they're at least able to get those players back in, but to what effect? Hard to think that they're going to be able to do much in this one. Doozy doing the aerial patrol for his team along their flanks, just watching for anybody coming in late to this. The good news for BB, nobody is.
So this is where you get to decide, are you a good person or a chaotic person?
Well,
if you want to be good, you want the circle to go to the hillsides around army base, right?
Yeah.
That way the players don't have to move. If you're a chaotic person, you want it to go south, where there's nothing to be really had over there, and most of the squads have already abandoned it, right?
I think you know my answer to that question. But actually, I wouldn't mind seeing I'll be the good guy this time. You can be the bad cop if you want. I'm gonna play good cop and say, let's go into the hills. Let's go north.
Or we could just go full on evil mode and say, let's go Godok, because it could still go that direction.
Also,
then everybody has to leave the hills, run down into Godok itself. There is also the western hill that's a little bit in play. Nobody's playing it because it's pretty barren. It's very hard to play.
Yeah, if we're going into Godok, like that's on the levels of evil of people who don't put their shopping carts back after they're done with them at the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like just leaving them out in the parking lot.
See, I was thinking more like the level of people that talk like on a bus or on the train on their phone or watching videos really loud while they're in a group of people. Like, I think is that worse than people that don't put their carts back?
I don't think so. I think at least that is like you've got some other people in there potentially making noise.
Falcons have called an emergency pickup just in case this does go south, and I don't blame them because having to go through Asla, Twisted, BP, Full Sense, all that would suck. Issue is, where's the circle going to pop? It's timed perfectly, and it goes just a bit south. Keep some of the hills, keep some of the fields.
I don't know if they're going to take this or not. Okay, they are. I was kind of curious. It just depended on the vehicle situation, I suppose, as well, and what they thought that the rotation paths might look like. They could have swung wide east. We can see that. They don't know that.
This is good research, though, because most people do go into these hills. They know the fact that using the trenches to get around is going to mean that there is just a plethora of teams. Instead, leapfrog over them, and you are jumping in blind, but you can at least come in with a little bit more safety. So if you read it
compound ki pothura
you're also going to maybe be
compound ki pothu DNF meediki
split from the Freaks. E-Arena, though, kind of watching the Freaks regroup. The timing for this could be terrible for the Falcons. Right as the Freaks are running into this, everybody's going to be trying to get involved. They do manage to make landfall with at least 2 of their players, but 2 casualties already down.
Yeah, they just gambled here a little bit. Thought, oh my God, kickstart though. And Tingleton, they've got 2 players down. Salute able to respond, but it's a flush on the DL.
Can't go for the flushes yet on to take. It means it kicks last one up. Is he going to opt for the res? Is he going to opt for defense? Blue zone's doubled up. That's going to be problems for Tig. Going to be a lot of damage, and I don't think... Oh, he does manage to crawl away from it, and Kickstart manages to get away too. Externally from this, we have BB taking long-range shots.
It's got to be so annoying for the Freaks. You were just trying to group up as 4, and you get landed on by one of the best teams in the lobby right now. Kick hanging on by a thread, chewed through all of his blue zone bag with those blue zone nades that were there, throws a prayer, doesn't really connect. Meanwhile, FN is just destroying T5, has a couple of their players trailing.
Good split. Kickstart still up on top. Shotguns coming out from the Freaks in low ground. Falcons a second earlier, and they might not have had to deal with this the way that they're having to deal with it. Heaven just doesn't even care, man. He's using the smokes. He's just pushing through. He's seeing if he can hear anything around him. Flashes now coming out for kickstart right on top of him. Does he even know where the approach is coming from? He's gone as high up as you can get, and the Freak's a bit scared to go up that stairwell.
At the timing, if they could find another stun to land up there, they could probably just get Heaven up here. He's going to do it himself. Not
BB.
Yeah, BB's keeping him pinned.
They're actually roaming around the outside. Doozy's going to get punishment from Na'Vi as well as E-Arena both. That might open up more, but everybody from BB, they're going for the crash. Phil first a bit sideways, going to slow down. He has to be careful. Kickstart being the catalyst for BB coming after this.
Yeah, Doozy there took a bunch of damage coming into the
శబ్దం చేయకుండా పండుగ అంతేను
Human trying to track him down a little bit, and the Doozy's going to throw a grenade out, try to catch him, trying to go around the corner. So far, hasn't been able to do much with it. Human keeping himself safe, but Maladoc knows that they're out there and they're trying to get to him.
Nice.
This is so well read from BB with the wrap around into the northern section on the approach for the compound. Freaks in so much trouble. They really can't regroup. They were all on the hunt. They wanted to take down Kickstart so fast. Instead, he's still clinging to life on top of all of this.
Yeah, stuns are coming through. The Freaks are getting collapsed on, though. Xiaowu is going to claim Duck Juice out by Goduck.
మంచిగా కిల్ ఫీడ్ చూసుకుంటూ ఉంటారు టీం మొత్తం ఫాల్కన్స్
Try to keep them outside.
ఎవడెవడు
So far,
ఎంతమంది
so
వచ్చినారు
good. Amali as well to block this corner.
So Luton Human, the last ones up, as BB is coming with authority, and they know exactly where another member for the Freaks is at. He's just got to run. BB, I love this from them. This early push was just so beautifully executed. So much information, and the Freaks just were not expecting it.
No, this is, you know, again, kind of the chaos of a lobby like this, where if you're just a hair late to rotate, as the Freaks were, then the Falcons capitalize. They jump in. They feel like, okay, we know they're probably 2-2 if we can see those cars driving in. Let's try to punish it. Didn't go great for the Falcons. Didn't go great for the Freaks. And BB's just opportunistic as hell. They're like, yeah, let's do it, man.
Up to the north, Namiga's got their two members still up. They've got to get in the circle, but Azla's going to be gatekeeping them out. Twisted going to be to the east of them. Eyes on the circle. Red Zone's the only member for Azla that's gotten inside the circle yet. T1 to the south of that. Of course, we've got our southern compound where it's got Kickstart as well as BB and the Freaks. The Expendables have to get out of their position, so they're getting closer by the moment. Oh, a con! Good timing on that.
That is so nice. The fact that he has the presence of mind to get out of the BRDM before the Panzer shot's gonna hit. He sensed it coming. That's some great reflexes there for the old man.
A bit nervous on that one, I would say. Probably a bit shaky afterwards. Being like, oh, did it work? I can't believe that happened. Inside Godoc, it's going to get pretty bad. We've got T5 remnants over there, 17, as well as Delawin still trapped. The Expendables have managed to get most of their players away. To the north, though, that's where I still keep drawing my eyes. Evan Pochan's been finding a ton of
VSS వచ్చిండు పాపం
Levante with a VSS? They've showed up. They came out so late from the airport after that revive. There goes Salute. And the Freaks are starting to feel the pressure building.
Twisted has no idea that Levante's probably over there. Example could be in a lot of trouble. Back in on the Freaks. Just human up. Slowly Salute crawls over to him, but the other members for BB coming after this. Na'Vi. Paris looked like he was thinking about getting in, but instead he's going to stop. Human just doing a good job on staying alive, but he runs out of smokes, and that's going to be all she wrote. BB gets control of the compound.
Well executed, BB.
Good enough. I mean, Kick should be, you would think, easier to deal with. We'll just have to wait and see. The crash here for Bagopod. Glaz trying to hold the line against Twisted Minds. And there's a lot of fighting taking place across many different parts of the map. Bagopod doesn't like this. That's the beauty of having a BRDM there. You can take a peek at a fight, see what's going on, and if you don't like it, you don't have to commit.
Yeah, but there was a pretty big commit from Bagopod. They lost a lot for that little bit of scouting. Twisted Minds, they want this game, and Azla, again, going to be the squad that they're right next to. Kickstart on top, finally going to go down. Circle does go to the south, so full sense in the center. That is scary for everybody. Falcons down means it is a 9-point lead on third place for VP.
Sense in full control here as they now spot T1 sat in third place. If they can shut them down early they're going to be playing with a lot of space to maneuver on that leaderboard.
For sure. That's why we're going to keep a very close eye on these final 3 games, guys. We want to make sure that we get that thing a little bit more tightened up there towards the top and give you as good a show as we can tomorrow, because right now Full Sense kind of running away with this thing, but a long way still left to go. As we see Namiga, after a nice game last game, trying to make their way a little bit closer towards center circle. They're going to see Navi on the high ground.
This is kind of interesting, though, because, okay, now they do get shutted. I was going to say we saw Hackatory earlier come up to this exact same position and just take a couple of shots into the air, see if there was any reaction. Amiga doing the same thing here, once again showing that Rondo, while there's a lot of places you can theoretically play from, there are also a select few that are just that much better to sit in than the others. So, Amiga this time around the third team.
1700 అంటే కష్టం బ్రో.
Here at some point, it looks like. I think they realized
అంత బాగా
they're
ఆడుతుంది బ్రో
kind
ఫుల్
of in the middle of a sandwich and wanted to continue going down south. I guess there was a cross call. Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and make their way into the city itself, and looks like they're going to find a nice little spot here on the north side of Danching to play.
Yeah, we'll be able to sit tight for a bit. I say that, and then immediately thereafter,
there is no sitting tight.
Gets shot in the stomach. Fair enough. He's going to go back into the building. I don't think they had a whole lot of loot going for them, so at least get a chance to get some more. I am seeing one of their players from Namika out in the open, smoking himself off. Not sure if that's a follow-up from a vehicle getting flipped, or maybe stopping to scout and then trying to get back into his vehicle. But Namika, for now, despite being somewhat safe, still under pressure.
We'll keep an eye on that. Freaks, meanwhile, big wide spread over in the northwest. But they might be having some company here soon. They're pulling up kind of behind Twisted Minds, but they've got third on 5 Falcons also coming in from the north, and they're going to be looking for somewhere to play as Ferris now. Looks like the Expendables have managed to make their way into Navi's little split here on the south side. So how will the Navi boys react? You can see on the mini-map just off to the north, and it doesn't look like Duck Juice even knows that they're there.
No, I mean, I think they know that they're north of them, but I'm not sure if they're aware of Ferris' position. He's playing it very quiet right now, but I mean, let alone the fact that they sat with a 3X M249 tells me he's not planning on doing long-range tapping anytime soon. He is very much expecting someone at some point soon to come towards his compound, at which case, hopefully, they'll be ready, because he sure seems to be.
You see Delwyn starting to move around a little bit. He's got that bolty in hand, though, so that would suggest that he's still looking long range, not really looking to make a push up. And looks like Ferris might have got the call, a little bit froggy. So we'll see how close he gets. Freaks, meanwhile, are going to come into the western side of the city that is currently occupied by Namiga.
Yeah, Heaven, first one in. We'll get up on the roofs, as per his name. Let's see what he can see. And obviously they wouldn't have heard the vehicles from Namiga come in here, but playing it very careful nonetheless. Smart on them. They have themselves a win already today, which booted them up the leaderboard. But yesterday, not exactly a day for them to write home about. So we'll see if they can get more going here as we get a Eastern hardship. Ferris does get rewarded for his patience here, finding Duck Juice as well.
3X M249. Who knew? That thing is a monster.
Oh, yeah.
And it will absolutely dispatch with Duck Juice. Now, Delwyn all by himself. You see Tanvu and the rest of the gang trying to get over here and see if they can pick him up or maybe provide him some support. And Navi shooting at him from range. 17 already had that E-pickup popped and ready to go, so they will be on the move. But where do you go, Toby? Do you even risk going over to the eastern side of the river at this point?
So there is a city, Al-Jadina, that we've never been to before. Today could be a cool day to go, but I think we're going to bounce back.
Jadina City,
There's a lot more space over there, but you know what? If there is a time and a place for something big to happen, grand finals would be a good one at that. As 17 Gaming jumping in just over. Full Sense, same time here. Twisted, making their way towards Navi, so a lot of potential fights in the making.
Yeah, got to keep an eye on this one. Full Sense will defend their territory. Will get the first knock onto Xiaobei, but won't be able to get the flush, so good smokes already ready to go. Full Sense, though, we got to imagine, I don't know how split they are, but a lot of eyes on that compound there. But they're going to go ahead and go for the push. Belmoth will flush him out, and another knock will come in onto Xiaobei.
Yep, one down already. We're seeing more Thai teams pop off now as Opons finds Beamy. That's out just down towards the southern side of the map. As again, I mean, Fulsen's just playing with absolutely no fear whatsoever. Aggressive plays coming up here, giving up on what is a pretty good compound on that southern side of Tulane. Making an aggro play to try and take out 17.
I'll tell you what, man, it feels like they're not even, they're not overthinking it. They just absolutely are W-keying into 17. They're not worried about anybody pushing in from behind to take their compound. They want to get these kills, and that is the kind of confidence that these guys are rolling with. 7700 will go down, and that's 17 eliminated in 16th place.
Absolutely no stopping Fulsen's. We see teams usually on the final day with quote-unquote nothing to lose, just go out, go aggressive, and see when they can make of it, and they tend to come out pretty well. Well, Fulsen's playing the same mindset, but doing it way earlier, and from the first place spot, incredibly aggressive and successful in doing so.
They're just farming right now, but you know, I think a lot of people or a lot of teams would look at that situation and say, oh, well, right now our compound is probably the best compound in the circle. We don't want to take the risk of going to push that because we know there's going to be another team. They just sent all four, and BB team, they're like, okay, you want to share Tulin with us? We'll turn our attention back over towards you here shortly.
It's a very Twisted Minds-esque play of just not wanting neighbors. Speaking of Twisted Minds here, they come flying on forward, quite literally. Blue might want to get out of that vehicle, it seems. Paul, the guys have taken control of it.
We got there eventually. And Hakatori will get the knock on a Batulins from range, so Twisted Minds need to get in these compounds and get this fight going pretty quickly, but the Expendables are already pulled out. They're waiting to see the angles. Lou is going to go down as well, and now Twisted is down to just 2.
Yep, Hakatori not making things easy with Twisted Minds here. They're trying to take an aggressive fight to Expendables, but it's Navi that are racking up the knocks right now. Yep, Perfectix set, forced to heal on him after that one.
Oh,
Tanvu through the fire, through the window. We'll see how much more he's got in him.
Tanvu still alive for now. Clories and Delwyn just going on both sides, seeing if they can find the angles. But Perfectix, look at that nasty little flank he's got there. And Navi, they saw all this happening. They see it in the kill feed. They know they've got a couple of knocks, and they are going to make the push in. They'll get the knock on to Delwyn.
Navi, they know how that today has not been exactly what they wanted. So if you get a third-party opportunity like this, like you've seen,
take it.
Gotta go for it. Gotta change up what has been a pretty forgetful day here.
Oh, Clories had to get on his horse there as Tanvu will go down. Clories plays the outside of the wall. Twisted Minds back up to 3 strong. Batulin's still bleeding out, but Lou is back on his feet. Perfectix playing around in this smoke. Clories just holding the line. Take that initial spray as Navi continues to just play from the hillside.
Not only is it a big fight between these three just to stay alive, but given the space that the victor of this fight will come out with on the northern side, the circle has swung back. It's actually going to be really big. First team is out of this 3-way fight. That's going to be Expendables falling in 15th.
And Navi now, they having a decision to make.
Yeah.
See if they stick around. It looks like they're going to hop into their vehicle and just dip on out, as they just don't want to stick around too long, and probably not a bad call as FN Potion are starting to make their way in from the north side.
And I think they were starting to get shut, or at least they heard the vehicles coming from behind saying we cannot sit in this position with a team coming in from outside circle now as well.
Sure.
Simply too risky, so smart on Navi to disengage, wrap around, and get inside the circle themselves.
They still had that same compound that they were playing from before, and they had already scouted out their next moves, so stick with that now. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, FN Potion will push on to Twisted Minds, and we could go and do the same thing again. Well, on the south side, we still got Bagopon Falcons making their way in as T1's reigning. You see T1, they're holding the western coast, or western side of this circle, rather. Nobody pushing in from outside, but they've got freaks right in front of them.
And that's the issue right now, right? Because the southern side of the map looks so free, so available, but as you can see here, only really one place you can play from, and that's where Falcons have set up just now. They need to play it very careful, though. They know there's players inside the southern side of Tulane, but they also know they have a team on the backside. So if any one of those two pull up on them, you have to expect the third party is imminent.
Absolutely. Got to keep an eye on where Bagopod decides to go, and they might actually get drawn in to third party this. E-Arena and Virtus Pro battling amidst the cliffs on the riverside. Luca Rux, that anchor man, Beamy still has a few more grenades he can send over in that direction, but Bagopod start to get a little bit closer. They might start taking shots from range.
Exactly. It's E-Arena who's on the clock here right now, because VP know they're playing with their backs free, but with Bagopod creeping ever so much closer here. For a while, it was Jacob kind of holding the back, but right now no one on the E-Arena side is looking behind them.
They got to lay those smoke walls down, and they're going to actually start making pushes in here because they are getting shot at from behind. Nixie with that high ground position will keep forcing them to move from different angles. Meanwhile, here, yeah, this is what we're waiting on. BagelPa sneaking up from the beach side. Arena's been sticking around here just a little bit too long. That smoke wall is going to go away pretty quick.
BagelPa might be taking too long in this, but I mean, for Arena, they're giving them a lot of time to work with. Norris trying to scare off VP. VP peeks underneath, finds the first one, though. Nice little double peek come through there from Virtus Pro as he tries to run to safety and will be successful in doing so. But here comes BagelPa from behind.
Perfectly pinched, perfectly timed, and now Arena down to just 2 as they play in that valley. Virtus Pro, though, they've got to be careful as well. You see Corexi having a retreat back to the shelter of that hillside. And now it is on BagelPa. Pio, of course, is just going to push right in, but Opons is ready.
Yeah, missed timing on that one. No teammates nearby to try and help him out, so an easy flush, or knock at least, coming through the first round flush will be confirmed as well. Song Yang is going to get the knock in return, but as soon as he peeks over, so does Virtus Pro.
Oh, Lyrics down to next to nothing. Virtus Pro keeping Arena alive right now by the shots. There you go. Corexi will get the knock on a Songjang as Virtus Pro now in complete control.
I feel like this is Virtus Pro. No, this is our points buffet. Get over here. Get out of here. These points are ours. Having said that, though, it seems like VP at the same time is also going to be backing off. They have a circle to play for, and I love the fact that Nixie is repositioning, going west here, trying to play on the inside circle to give VP a place to go from.
Yeah, BagelPa was doing all that without the presence of a Khan as well, and it looks like BagelPa is just going to back off. But now Virtus Pro, you see Nixie with that new position, they'll clean up, and Arena will go down. 3 kills now for Virtus Pro, and they have a clear path into the next zone.
And BagelPa, they lose one. Get a, I was going to say a couple of points, but actually only one, where they lose Pio in doing so as well. Now a tricky south side 2 link to crash into. We're too late in the game for them to really be able to execute a wide wrap here. It will only be coastal if it could be, and they know now that there's an entirety of VP set, so that's not an option. You have to fight your way into this one, and it ain't going to be easy.
Well, while we were watching Virtus Pro and BagelPa and Arena, Twisted Minds kind of ruining FN Potion's game. They're down to just Starlord and Breakers. Twisted back up to full strength. As Corexi and the rest of the Virtus Pro boys, well, they have not forgotten what BagelPa just did to them, and they will continue that fight as Falcons.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be Tickleton if he didn't have at least one mortar play, right?
Exactly. He's lining up in 192, trying to go for a BP team, it would seem. Actually, no. Looking further west here, it's over towards BagelPa, but there's no which dip there, and they can't really get proper lines of sight of exactly where these BagelPa and VP players are positioned.
Just aim for the smokes. Hope for the best. BagelPa just going to keep laying down some concealment. Hope for they keep trying to make their way through. Songjang somehow survives that spray, and he will just go ahead and take off in the Dacia. The Khan will provide him some Overwatch cover.
I mean, for Virtus Pro, even if they don't get the kills, their mission has been successful. They're forcing them to go further west. They're enabling themselves a potential third-party situation. Issue is, they left one unnoticed, and that's a Khan once again. Always so good in finding that first knock on off-angle positions. As shots comes over, but nothing connecting.
Slowest Panzerfaust. Still terrifying.
Yeah.
Virtus Pro still laying the shots down, laying the fire down. Nixie has a lot of damage so far, as we see the north side is going to have to come to a head here too, as well as BagelPa. There you go, extends. Will take down Rasa the Junior. Nixie will take down Songjang, and it's down to just Guyon and Akon, as the smokes will keep them alive a little bit longer.
Takes and continue to rain mortar fire down on all of them as well. They too have a circle to go from, and if they can get a third-party opportunity on the east and continue wrapping that way around, that ain't a bad opportunity for Falcons, as there's that mortar as close to Guyon. There it is. Without finding it, second one finds him though.
Oh, he thought that they would maybe hit different places, but Tickleton landing on a dime, and yeah, exactly. Falcons have to make moves at this point if Full Sense is going to keep doing what they're doing, so they have to go and try to third-party this. They'll find Guyon, and now they will take down BagelPa in the end. It's going to be Shrimzy that takes out Akon, as Nixie will get taken down by H-Win. So Virtus Pro, you see Corexi and Lyric still alive.
Clean for Falcons and coming over on this side. Great understanding with no other options. Smart of them to set up a play of their own, as Na'Vi still 4 alive on that northern side, trying to take out T1 on their entry to the circle, and they find the first.
And he's pushing them right into Example, but Example's going to go down. Twisted Minds, though, will turn their attention back towards T1. They will take him out, as now Falcons trying to make the push into Virtus Pro, finish them off, but Virtus Pro, Lucarux getting the double knock to start things off, and there you go, VP will get eliminated. Falcons will try to reset, but Full Sense is hunting.
Exactly, Full Full Sense seeing all this happening in the kill feed. They know that they need to strike while Falcons are wounded. They see the smokes, but they're only now getting over the hilltop. Got to figure out exactly where they're positioned. Throwing a nade on over. Not going to find anyone with the first, but Belmont opens up and finds Strimsy immediately thereafter.
Kickstart will get back on his feet. H-Win laying down the smokes as Flash tries to take the spray through those smokes. Will flush out Tig, but he'll have to retreat. Belmoth has taken a knock, so Full Sense kind of taking their making their way back over their Flash, just looking for something here.
Trying to back off now, get back towards the circle. They got one player knocked on the back lines, and I think it's smart on them to disengage. You have already wounded Falcons. You know they're down to just the two. So get the res up on Belmoth, fall back into the circle, because you know you have space to play from.
Looked like an Amiga might be coming down as well there. Yeah. At least they sent Hello My Bad, but they had to stop down because they took a knock of their own. So we'll go and keep an eye on that fight while DN Freaks try to push into BB Team off of the knock of a doozy. Nice grenades coming in return to try to slow them down. The double blue zone will not catch a doozy. Yes, it will catch a doozy. Okay. So that is not going to be a resable player there for BB Team, and they'll just have to retreat.
And here comes the sweep from Na'Vi. They want to make space for themselves. They know they have Twisted in the northern side. Yeah, we'll wait with fighting them for now. Even if they're down the leaderboard, we know how dangerous they are. Out on the edge of the circle. Instead, they take their eyes south. Like a Atari finds one. Soset there to fight the second.
All right, Na'Vi starting to pick things up here as they have all four alive, and they have a little bit of high ground to work with. Third party down on to BB is DNF. Trying to push through. Phil first, though, gets spotted out. Bestalosh has to be up close. Layosh actually going to be the one that gets Phil first. So Bestalosh and Molodov doing their best to stay alive here. Will get that knock on a salute, but the res comes through.
Yep, that nade inside building. There is Sat behind it. And the other container. Here comes Heaven trying to hold off the angle. Will be able to get the first one down. No.
Circle takes us. Be cool, be cool, be cool. All right, where is the circle? Will the circle be cool?
It has been a...
Tigger. Drop down
and it all in Tigger. Looks like nobody is looking over in their direction, or at least none that have angles, and they're able to get inside the circle, and they've got a little ridge line to play, and they should be safe for the foreseeable. And it feels like this thing is just going to slow down for the time being, unless Freaks is okay. I thought Freaks might be trying to backfill Na'Vi, but Na'Vi left Soset behind to make sure that that didn't happen. So I think Freaks will just go ahead and play it out in those buildings still.
We are a few seconds away from this becoming a big old utility brawl, because everyone at this point is almost within utility range from one another. Issue is a lot of these teams inside Tooling has expended, if not all, then near all util they have available. So I can see now smokes being deployed, trying to get Na'Vi within nade range of Twisted Minds. With these circles closing in, there's only so much space they can spread out on. The first knock is going to be found. It's going to be Ferris finding Batulins.
Oh, that's a good follow-up grenade to get the flush as well. So Batu is taken down immediately, flushed out. This is just fishing with dynamite at this point. And to be honest, they don't really have a lot of real estate to play around. So not the worst idea here on the part of Freaks. But Na'Vi will continue with the happy feet. And this might be just Salute waiting for the best moment to strike.
I mean, all Freaks can do right now is try and keep Na'Vi up on that rock. They don't want them down, because if they get down here, Namiga can make plays. Full can creep closer. One nade could be the downfall of Na'Vi here. Can they somehow get out of this position? Hakatori down to blue already. They might just have to all four concede. They're trying to make it happen, but no! Deal with the triple comes through and gets a lot of points voted for DN Freaks.
Sometimes fishing with dynamite works. And DNF will pick up 4 of Na'Vi off of that one. Or 3 at least. Hakatori went down the blue, but Twisted Minds now in trouble as Tigger has found the angle, as Full Sense might be down to 2, but they are just as dangerous.
Full Sense top 4 in all matches here today. What a performance we have seen from the Thai first seed team. This one, though, far from one. 8 kills, a standard all tries to grab back towards that southern side. Has Tigger down there, but they're effectively fighting off entire teams on their own.
Twisted Minds, this high ground kind of working against him at this point, as everybody is just looking up there. But good shots from Example will put him down. Nice shot from Heaven to take down Lou and deal. The rest of the boys still alive. Perfectix now the last one up for Twisted. Does he even risk going for the res? He does, as DNF will continue to around the grenade from Tigger, though, as Full Sense still has so much left in the bag.
DN Freaks thought they had them in space to maneuver forward, but not quite going to happen. Every team taking casualties here. And Amiga down to 2, Twisted down to 1 as well as now. Thanadol peeks on over, wraps on forward. It's a 1v1.
It's a 1v1, and Full Sense will be the first one to take down as Twisted Minds down to 1. They're going to go down next as Heaven will he wants to try to stick this res, but he just can't do it yet. Looks like Levante might try to go for it. Salute as Namiga will win a nice spray from him, and that will be a huge win. Yeah, flex on him, son. You earned it.
Tough time for them yesterday, but they've been clawing back today, now making their way up towards the top half of the leaderboard. And for Twisted, for Navi, we talked about so many teams needing to get things going here. Able to do so.
Fantastic performance there, and what a crazy finish. One of the rare finishes that we see down there in that construction yard, it feels like, but so many different angles to play. The fact that Full Sense was able to keep those two guys alive and still collect so many points off of that just goes to show how in lockstep that team is right now. But in the end, you got to give a shout out to Namiga for getting a big win, get them right back in the conversation.
Coming in that northern side of that position late on as well. Tricky one for them to bring home. And then in the end game, when they're sat so close with so many top-notch teams all around them, being able to bring it home in the end is huge.
You see a lot of excited fans here for that. Namiga has got big smiles on their faces. It doesn't matter how bad the tournament has been so far. They are right back in it. Levante.
A brotherly love between friends.
Levante, I think that might have been headed over towards the Twisted Boys. But these guys know each other so well. But what a win for them, and what a win for Levante. And let's see what Erangel has to bring us here with only 2 games remaining.
Will this bump up the confidence here for our team that was able to smash the last stage as they were able to get themselves that win over there? Now they find themselves a win here on Rondo. It was down to the wire once again. In fact, it was a 1v1v1v1.
It was. Legendary catchphrase from Toro himself. And coming down to tooling, I actually love the layout, how everything worked out. But the utility had such an impact again and again, because so many teams were crammed into these small ridges, small spaces, where there's impossible tonight. There was a few clutches. We saw some foldable shields that saved.
That was insane.
If it wasn't for the
I lost my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy. If it wasn't for the follow-up nade, I was like, well, that saved 2 lives.
Yeah.
I love this fight. This is a fun spot to see a fight. And while you talk about utility being so valuable, one of the reasons I love this area is it becomes way less effective when you're fighting on the side of a hill, right? So I like the teams were using that as a defensive tactic to make sure they could sort of take utility out of the fight. Ultimately, Bagopah charges in from behind. Pio, I think, a little too aggressive on that charge and tries to take it to BP, who gets away with a little bit extra, but not quite enough.
Obviously, having so much water in place, like, okay, if we can take one of the edges here, we will have our backfield and can fight our way with that. I love how BP was trying to approach that, but I would say there's obviously, if it's a little 33 point starting, Twisted Minds here, but now this is a bit of a comeback, it's a bit of a resurgence for them. Is it too late though? Deal. He handled that nade perfect.
He dealt with them perfectly, right?
Yes.
I will say this though, somebody tell everyone that Full Sense is winning right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Every time, they're still alive.
Mate, when we had the circle shift go to the west, and then they were on the east side, got a little bit farther out, I'm like, okay, their only chance is to go south. They do take the option. They take shots a little bit preemptively and lose some people. If they had done that, I think they could have come in on the south side and won this game.
I mean, again, sure, they were in the center of the first circle. They had a good kind of home turf here, but still, the way that they set it up, the way that they got themselves into this top 4 here was massive. And it's a hard area to deal with if you're not kind of used to, okay, which is actually the best area of approach and kind of angle to get in, and where can we control the most? If there's still a team where Twisted Minds were that have that high ground control. It puts so much pressure on everyone else, but they eventually had to come down. So playing a little bit more safe and a little bit more approachable from that eastern side was obviously paying off.
Yeah, you speak
But
all of these
two.
teams, and that was a team that, yeah, exactly. I mean, the numbers didn't lie from group stage, right? 15.3 average. Then they got 11 points on the previous one from yesterday, and now even getting themselves almost double digits again, I think. But it seems that the crowd, aside from loving Thailand, they love Levante.
Those guys are supposed to be co-streaming right now. Yeah. They got up. They're like, we're cheering for the boys.
Just running out of the chairs and running in there.
19 points go the way of Amiga. And damn, actually, I didn't realize it was more than double digits, really, for Twisted Minds. 17 alone. That is a much-needed result for them, considering they were down towards the bottom.
33 points, as I said before. There's obviously a little jump up to 50.
Yeah.
They're going to
17 ఏం ఆడుతుందేమో అసలు.
top 5, right? We were talking about a 20-point cutoff prior to this. And all the other teams are still getting points.
Bro, 112 in the
obviously put them
bro.
closer to be within inside striking
What the
distance.
fuck,
But
bro?
the lead that
112 in the
Sense has
bro.
now, James, is insane.
It's a terrifying outlier here, Toffees.
Yes.
North of 30
What the
points
fuck,
is
bro?
they should not be this far ahead right now.
35 points to be exact.
Exactly.
Insane.
I didn't want to give an exact number because
35 points on
America. But
no,
the rest of these teams, I mean, so when you look at 77 down through 67, the chase pack in the 50s, all of that makes sense. That is what it should look like today.
It's 50 placement points,
which
is the same as Twisted Minds total.
I was gonna say, look at the totals. If Virtus Pro didn't just only frag out, they would actually be close. But let's just ignore Full Sense and celebrate how close. We have 4 teams within 5 points from second till 5th.
If you'd have removed Full Sense, you'd have been like, yeah, this looks like a normal scoreboard.
Here's the other problem. If they only had kills, they would be 6th. If they only had placement, they would be 8th, right? That is still wild to me that independently both of those stats are still dominating the bottom half of the board.
It's a terrifying prospect with only 2 games remaining today, 6 tomorrow as well. Full Sense is in full control. We're going to a break. When we return,
2 matches
more games for today.
కొట్టేయాలి వాళ్ళని లేకపోతే కష్టం.
Fueled by the same passion as esports athletes, Zowie continuously develops tailored products, empowering gamers to bring their best out. Today, we are launching the all-new XL2566X Plus, which uses the newly developed Fast TN panel and upgraded DAY-2 technology. The new monitor series continue to evolve, refining details to ensure players can perform their best consistently in games.
Aims for his helmet, fires, reveals his position, and is shot in turn. Except Major Koenig doesn't fire, because Major Koenig isn't there.
جيب لي واحد كرك يلا بيا طق سيارة بوليس يلا يلا سوي لي رقصة ثانية
ఎందుకు బ్రో దేవుళ్ళ రీల్స్ వస్తున్నాయి
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. Sou de salto alto, vou deixar você na mira.
దీనిలో కంటే ఇది చూసేది బెటర్.
Hello, PUBG and PUBG Mobile fans. Thanks to your passionate, unwavering support, we've been able to grow tremendously on the battlegrounds of PUBG and PUBG Mobile. To give back to our fans, even in a small way, and to present you with a brand new experience of the #1 Battle Royale, we are bringing together PUBG and PUBG Mobile and uniting them under one stage, PUBG United, launching in 2025. PUBG United's journey begins in Siam District, Bangkok, where the tournament will be held this November. Around Siam Paragon and across the city, you'll discover PUBG experiences that you can't take your eyes off. You can also experience the PUBG United Fan Zone, where you will find booths dedicated to PUBG and PGC, as well as PUBG Mobile and PMGC. There will also be special collaboration pop-ups with global brands. A variety of PUBG-themed events and hands-on activities are waiting for fans to enjoy to the fullest, so be ready. For online fans, a special website will open, bringing together every moment of PGC and PMGC so you can enjoy PUBG United anytime, anywhere. For the first time in esports history, PUBG Global Championship and PUBG Mobile Global Championship will unite on a single stage. Starting with a grand opening ceremony on a massive scale, each day brings new and exciting moments. With that energy building up, the intense grand finals of PGC and PMGC will come together for the first time in history on one united stage. On this one-of-a-kind stage, the world's top players will battle in back-to-back grand finals, offering an experience like never before. One world, two champions coming together in a truly historic moment. November 24th to December 14th in Bangkok, Thailand. Come and experience PUBG United to the fullest. We will continue striving to be a PUBG and PUBG Mobile that never stops working hard for our fans. Thank you.
Real car, right? Yes. Research bro, chalo. Research okay.
Two matches left of the day here, but we have officially made it past the halfway point, and so far Full Sense seem to be uncatchable. Everyone is getting into the final end games, trying to take them down, but they still come away with a buckload of points. I don't know who has it in them right now. They're literally firing on all cylinders.
Look, they're farming. Like, it's absolutely obscene. And what they did in that last lobby, like we said, we talked about it in the game. Like, they were dead center circle. They had a compound that they could have just defended. And that's what we've seen multiple teams do. We saw Nvidia do it in that game, where they just kind of stayed in one spot and wait for the game to play. But they took the initiative. They went out. They third-party fights. They started cleaning everything up. They didn't win, but they got 8 kills, 9 kills off of it. They got more plays for points once again. But that's what you can do. That's the kind of pressure you can apply when you're confident, you're comfortable in your position overall on the leaderboard. And you're saying the most dangerous thing here, they are as comfortable as can be. Everyone had their doubts on them coming in because of the whole direct invite to finals thing, and the fact that they're then coming in on home turf, having to impress the entire crowd, because they know what's going to happen if they don't. The Thai fans, as much as they cheer, they're ruthless as well at the same time, right? But they come in here and they act like there was never a shred of doubt that they were going to be up then first. Yeah, and I mean, I think the question marks that were placed on Full Sense coming into this were warranted, right?
Oh, like, sure.
All of these teams have been here playing through group stages. They played through some of them through final stage, and then you wonder, okay, well, these guys are coming in, and now they're coming into these other teams that have been playing. They're warmed up. They're ready to go. They know the lobby. They know all these other teams. They know who's hot right now. They know who's not. And then Full Sense just comes in, and it's like they were here from the get-go. It's absolutely insane.
Able to find a lot of success through the halfway point of the tournament. But of course, what one team can do in one half, well, theoretically, everyone else can do in the other. And while Full Sense have found a lot of success, we did see Twisted finally get into the late game, get points with it. We saw Navi, while having a great start to yesterday, not doing a whole lot at the beginning of the day today, they too got into the end game. Freaks as well, with a win today, found top 3, won themselves one here again. They too are finding success. As the Amiga also, I mean, the victors of this very final game, teams that needed things going, got things going in the previous one. Let's see if they can do it here on a Wrangle as well.
There you go. There's too many good teams in this lobby to call this one done just yet.
Oh, yeah.
Full Sense, they've got a lot of work still left to do here today and even tomorrow. As you see, everybody's excited. They're getting to see some of their favorite players on the screen.
Also, I mean, with how Full Sense is kind of separating himself right now, we've seen a lobby play from behind with the current leader being ahead. I don't think we've seen a global stage where a team was this far up, so we might actually be reaching a point real soon where teams going, okay, guys, so who's going to take one? Who's going to take one for the other 15 and just hunt him down? Because we need to do something to deal with these guys, or else we might as well not play tomorrow.
Tell you what, right now, BB Team and T1 getting a little bit close to each other. That is a very populous military island right now, honestly. That's 5 teams right on top of each other, and it looks like T1.
Is it
T1?
I can count.
I'm not sure who was the one taking shots at the other right there, but T1, they're going to get a compound. Looks like BB should be able to escape, and no harm, no foul. So we'll see where the circle decides to take us, as we also see 3rd on 5 and Amiga also up there towards South Georgia. And wouldn't you know it, 5 teams on Military Island. They might have known something that we didn't, Toby, because that is where we are headed.
There is something to be said about circle superstition, and then there's also just, as you like to say it, raw stats.
Stats.
As of late, I mean, man, this patch has been the milli patch of milli patches.
Feels like it.
In competitive PUBG. So you know what? These guys, they put their money on both black and red and got rewarded.
Yeah, I do like my nummies. I like my numbers. And there's you get to see a little that winner chicken dinner percentage over there, sponsored, put together by Craft and AI and AWS, letting us know just how much of a shot everybody has based off of just a laundry list of stats and data, and it's one of my favorite things. And I've been having a lot of fun keeping track of it as we check in with Namiga after that big win. 9-kill win for them, Toby. That is, we were wondering about Namiga after last stage, right? Like, well, first of all, they ended up in last stage, barely. I should remind everybody, it was only by a point or 2. And then they just looked absolutely dominant inside that last stage. And through day 1, it wasn't looking great, but now maybe start things going in the right direction.
Honestly, I feel like what we saw was them pulling the opposite of Asla Pentagram. They looked so dominant through all of that. And where Pentagram struggled, they got confident over time. I feel like Namiga, they lost confidence over time. But with this win now, while it wasn't a big double-digit kill type game, still a chicken dinner, still, you know, Levante getting to get up there and flex in front of his friends.
Not bad.
And, they did get 9 kills. True, you're not wrong. I take that back.
It's not double digits,
but
exactly.
Not even double digits. What do we think?
No, but still, I mean, for them to get to jump out of their seats with the music playing and get happy with it, let's see if they can get some repeat success.
T1, you see
Falcons
fully committed to a bridge camp, and oh no. Well, Falcons will be the first one across the bridge. Hasn't been a great day for them so far, but they've been doing enough to stay in the top 5. They make their way through, and I don't know if Kickstart spotted something, or if maybe T1 just playing it real close to the vest right here. And oh no, that is a stop down. Can they pull away? They do have Expendables on the other side as well. Okay, the first shots, and now Falcons know what's going on.
I was going to say, Type is playing with a bolt from up here. I think that's why he was so hesitant to start shooting. His teammates weren't in a position to help him out properly either. But here they come running on forward. They still have Expendables on the bridge as well behind them. Nice underneath angle there from Ian to come assist, though.
Gets about 50 damage in, and as you said, it's a question of when those expendables start to get a little bit more active. As H-Win, they're shooting the toesies there of Type, but Raining will win the 1v1 on the scaffolding. So Tickleton putting Type back on the makes him retreat once again as H-Win will get flushed out. Kickstart having to come back and return. And the expendables, they're still over here. Yeah, there you go. Delwyn starting to run down there. They know what's up. They know something's going on. Nice spray from Tig will take down Type in the end.
Exactly. Tig able to maintain a bit of space here, finding one on one side, but with expendables creeping in from the other. Gotta be swift about dealing with the first pressure now. Shots being fired from expendables, and Falcons realizing, oh wait, we're sandwiched.
Oh, through the stairs, not gonna be enough. Shrimsy trying to keep his happy feet going. Tickleton will be able to heal up a little bit and provide some support. Raining still playing on the low side, looking for that angle. He might spot him.
I was gonna say, I mean, I wish you could give more constructive feedback, but Kick's gotta do something. He's the only one with an off angle that can actually spot people at a side, but he too is being dealt with heather. Nice awareness of him spotting one coming underneath, and Kick's just gotta call it. I gotta try and send a Hail Mary here. Gotta see if I can somehow get through this chaos, and well, for the time being, there is still one Falcon alive.
Just escaping. Fled the coop. Well, the expendables, Duck Juice, and Clory's still up here. Tanvu looks like he might be on the way, but now this has been going on so long that 17 Gaming has arrived right behind the expendables. So I think T1, after losing 2 there, will just go ahead and retreat and try to survive as a duo.
It's a traffic jam of death on the Western Bridge. In the meantime,
when's the last time we've seen the bridge get that much?
And the irony of it
early
too,
on.
I think I've only seen a half team rotate from the Eastern Bridge thus far.
Oh yeah.
Look, for anyone wondering, for anyone maybe not understanding the intricacies of what a situation like this, look at the plane path. Look at how many teams had a chance to loot east and also quickly rotate down towards the military island. That's the reason. The plane path and the plane path alone is the reason why we're seeing such a congested set of teams here on the west, and no one, because the teams that jumped east had to land, get vehicles, drive east, get loot, and took them long enough so they could avoid all that commotion. But for now, let's stay on Thailand here as we get an interview with Jacob.
Yay! And now we're with Jacob from E-Arena ตอนนี้เราก็อยู่กับ Jacob นั่นเองนะคะ วันนี้ต้องบอกว่าตอน Final Circle ตอนวงสุดท้ายอ่ะคือเราได้เจอกับ Full Sense ถึง 2 ครั้งเลยในวันนี้แต่ว่าเราไม่สามารถปิดจบได้เนาะก็เลยอยากจะถามว่ามันเกิดข้อผิดพลาดอะไรตรงไหนแล้วมันมีอะไรที่เราเอากลับไปปรับปรุงบ้าง
ก็คิดว่าเป็นการสื่อสารครับผมจุดที่เราต้องเคลียร์มันจริงๆครับ
โอเคมีอะไรเพิ่มเติมอีกไหมเหมือนจะพูดไม่จบเมื่อกี้
อย่างเช่นแบบว่าขอบวงอะไรอย่างนี้ครับว่าแบบใครที่ดูก็ต้องดูให้เคลียร์ครับ
โอเคได้เลยนะคะ
ఇంతకుముందు కూడా సేమ్ ఇట్లా అంట బ్రో సర్కిల్ పన్న వెంటనే వీళ్ళు కార్లు తీసేసుకొని వెళ్ళిపోయినారు అప్పుడు ఎవరు క్యాంప్ చేయలే కానీ ఈసారి క్యాంప్ చేసాడు దొరికిపోయారు
and what can he take away from the fight so he just saying like is about the communications and is about the position and the responsible about each
కిక్ స్టార్ట్ గాడు చూడరా అని పంపిస్తే
so let's cheer for E-Arena I think
వాడు చూసేంత కన్నా వెయిట్ చేయాలి వీళ్ళు వాడు పోయినాడు వీళ్ళు వెనకాలే గొర్రెలాగా కొంచెం ఆగితే వాడు క్లియర్ చేసి నీట్ గా చెప్తే అయిపోద్ది ఉన్నారా చిక్కన వెళ్ళారా రావద్దండి అని అప్పుడే బ్రిడ్జ్ మధ్యలోకి వెళ్ళిపోయినారు
Also, I love the fact that, I mean, with that Namiga win in the previous game, we're fixing potholes in the leaderboard right now. I mean, there was a big old jump from 5th down to 7th, or 5th, well, what was down to 6th place. But now Namiga is squeezing their way on in and mitigating that gap by a bit. It's only still at first down to 2nd. Guys, all 15 teams of you gotta do something about Full Sense.
They do indeed. T1 contributing to try to make that gap a little bit smaller, although they'd probably prefer not to as they are down to a duo. We'll see how they make their way through this one. Meanwhile, 17 did come across that western bridge, and now Namiga there, 3rd on 5 there. Whatever's left of the expendables are still all crowding on the north side of that bridge as well, so we'll see how that plays out as we check in with Theraton 5 making their way in those hills.
It's still baffling to me. This is the 7th team coming towards that western bridge. And now finally we are starting to see some of those slow looting teams that opted to go east, going towards the bridge as well. But this one is full on occupied, boys. Xiao Wu, though, able to find Rosa. Can he get down behind the ridge line in time? No, Xiao Bei takes him out.
And meanwhile, while that's happening, Namiga has taken the fight with the Expendables. They find one knock to start things off. Tombu gets brought very, very low. You see Clory's still off in the distance. I think that Duck Juice was one of the returning members. You see Delwyn still in the skies. He's going over to the military island all by himself, as Tombu will defend the push as best he can.
Trying to throw some smokes over towards the entrance to the roof. Trying to make some space for himself. You see Delwyn's actually flying back now, so while not being a direct impact in the fight, he's going to be able to give in for a cross. And I was going to say it before, but I held it back. Full Sense sat on the western side in prime position. If this one swings west, they are going to be blessed with it, and indeed, they have been once more.
That's a nasty little spray by Tombu, but he goes down in the end to the shots from Hello My Bad, followed by the blue zone grenade. Amiga should be able to get Drox back up, but Clory's is still playing around over there. They do have to be careful. Delwyn has made landfall, and he will secure a weapon. But can he get a helmet to go along with that weapon? Right now, he's sitting on a level 1 vest, and don't forget, 3rd on 5 is still just kind of poking around on the outskirts here, just off to the north.
Uzi, Goldie in hand, trying to see what he can make of it. So we now have back to Clory, stood here. Only 2 shots available. Well, that's 2 knocks potentially, but he's going to need a bit more, as far as I can count it, Amiga has 3 players on their feet.
They still haven't gone for that res on the Gidrock, so that lets me know that Namiga does not have any idea where this last guy could be. And they are...
Well, they know he's in this building, but they are taking it very slow and trying to figure out which room he's in.
They are indeed, as...
That's going to help them a bit. Oh, never mind.
Ooh, there we go. Okay.
Oh, the double.
A little bit short. As Delwyn has arrived, and he almost took him by surprise, but Levante with the quick turn will take him out, and now Delwyn will finish them off as Navi apparently is fighting Full Sense.
Yep, we're going over on the other side of the map. There's a Full Sense now, trying to fend off here against Navi. Navi rocking up on the hill up high. Successful in finding Belmoth here on entry. That'll Flash and Tig up, trying to hold off against them.
Full Sense with that high ground. They've been saying that for a while, but Hackatory now has moved over to the shot. He's still got 1 shot left in it. Extends will provide the support, though, and that will be Navi. Although they are down to 2, they have knocked Full Sense down to just Tigger, and E-Arena has arrived.
Everybody hearing what's going on up here, and they want to try and take out both these teams. It's 1st and 2nd place. If they can take out them both, a lot to fight for on the top of that leaderboard.
Big shot there from Lair to finally take down Tigger, although he put Lauren so close. And Navi now, they're playing a little tower defense. E-Arena, they have to stop down and get this res, as Asla Pentagram has seen this. They're starting to look up in this direction. Yeah, Glaz already on his high horse. He's making his way up here.
Looking at the leaderboard right now, everyone realizing, wait, Full Sense out early? And then you go, this is our... Wait, Navi, we're down to 2. Pelicans down to 1 as well as Hackatory. You know what? I said they're down to 2. Doesn't really matter. Hackatory counts for 3 when he has a good game going. Issue is there's an entire team of E-Arena now pulling up over this hillside.
They are indeed, and Extends has gone down to Hackatory is all by himself. And no, he got down there just in time. Nice utility from E-Arena, and they will take down the fragger in the end.
First place out, 2nd place out, 3rd place down to 1, and T5 and 5th in trouble as well. The mid-pack of the leaderboard, they are out for blood now.
And Asla Pentagram, while they were pushing up, E-Arena doing a good job of holding the line. They get double knocks, and that will slow them down. We'll check back in with them later as Twisted Minds now is pushing into FN Potion. And okay, we're back to Asla versus E-Arena.
Let's see here, big E pickup coming in as well for VP. One of the teams in the top 5 still with all players left alive. Where are they going to jump in this? If they opt to collapse in this fight, that might end up being really, really fruitful. Are they actually going to go for it? I think they are. I think they are.
What a grenade from Opons. Puts it right on top of the red zone. And yep, there's the push from Virtus Pro from the skies. The Bear Force will land on top of the building, and they are ready to scrap.
Here they come up close immediately. Corexi finds the first one. Will be traded right thereafter, but Lugarooks there to get the flush on one side. Lugarooks finds the second as well. And just like that, E-Arena down to a single player.
Norin still dancing around down there, playing around that rock. His VP, beautiful timing. Well, they will lose Corexy, but still have 3 alive. As that grenade getting sent into pretty much nowhere. Nurin's just looking for anybody to take a shot there, and I think, yeah, they know exactly where he is now. They'll follow it up with a nice grenade, and that'll be it for E-Arena, as Nixie will finish him off.
And for VP to fly in like this, in between 2 teams mid-fight, and only lose 1, and with that also claim what could end up being a really, really good position should this next circle swing west. And then you look at the leaderboard, they're the only ones in top 5 with more than 2 alive. This might be the only chance they're going to get to properly catch up to the teams ahead of him.
Well, don't look now, but Namiga, after getting that big win last game, they've already got 5 kills.
Yeah.
And they are full strength trying to make that push up into Virtus Pro as we cut back to FN Potion as, nice spray from Rex will take down Example.
Able to find one, but Tulins and Lou, not a whole lot they can do and try and fortify this position. Got to call it quits and try and maneuver their way around issue is. I mean, as great as Twisted Minds are wrapping around Edge of Circle, where in the world do you go when you're coming in the northeast here? Are you just...
Yeah,
are you falling into military base? I mean, they're waiting for the next circle, obviously. No reason to commit military base if it's not going there. But even just for like a break spot going, where can we actually breathe to try and make that next play happen? You can see as soon as they get out of the cars, once again, Pochon there to shoot at him.
Yeah, the problem is they got Pochon up to the north, and now Bagopa is also hovering around. They're cruising like sharks on these hills, looking to see if they can spot out the angle as Gedrox will spot out Nixie. There he goes. It took him the whole magazine, but he got him in the end.
Got him in the end, but might not have been fast enough. Lokarooks beaming out, both running down to try and get Nixie back on his feet. Not going to happen, though. He is going to bleed out. Doesn't change the fact that VP have both their players outside of the building.
And Beamy, though, he's going to sneak from behind. Gets Hallow My Bad, almost gets Gedrox as well, as he will continue sending those flashes over. It's a 2-man push, wrapping around Amiga in a little bit of trouble here.
Circle does swing east, so good on Twisted for waiting. You can see their brain icons on the very outskirts of the map, able to get themselves a beneficial position inside the military base proper if they opt to go for it. Meanwhile, VP, of course, seeing this as well, they are going to send it down this hillside and probably try and get into the craters as well.
Don't blame him for dipping on that. It has been a proper hullabaloo up on the top of this hillside, as VP will just have to send it in, and all eyes will see. Oh no, that's not where you want to hit the slide. That's not where you want to hit the fence. And okay, well, GG.
I like the idea that they got extra cover from the slide, but they were a bit too slow in getting back up on 4 wheels.
Lost a little bit of the old momentum there, as Levante will get taken down by 770. So 17 starting to make their way down from the north here, and look at that, an Amiga just like that. Asla Pentagram coming in at the right time, and Twisted Minds, well, they tried to go somewhere, but X-Grows, it was all on top of it.
I'm telling you, the mid-pack on the bottom of the leaderboard, this is your chance. Top 3 out early. Top 5, only 3 players up in total. So for Freaks, I mean, who will rock bottom of the leaderboard, they now have a chance to really make something happen here. Almost got themselves 2 wins, so they have one, second place in the other, and now the chance to make it yet another big one.
Well, you talked about Full Sense.
Yeah.
They were getting great position, great circle fortune, but they made something of it. They collected a ton of kills and shot up the leaderboard. Well, now these teams in that same boat. They've got great position. They've managed to make it to the late game, 29 alive. What can you do to put your footprint on this leaderboard and start climbing? As we see 17 still playing from outside the zone. FN Pochon still on the northern side, on the other side, the eastern side of the road, rather. So 17 have a lot of room to kind of maneuver around here. But where do you go, Toby? The new zone is
it's cut off so perfectly to make this decision. Like, you can't go anywhere in circle and scout forward. Well, technically you can, because the south side of the crossroad compound is free. They don't know that yet. If they actually scout and commit to know, they're going to send it. Wait, are they going forward?
They were driving past it.
What a read!
Yeah, I mean,
what a clutch read.
I feel like they've been scouting it. They drove past it a couple of times there just to see if they got shot at, and nobody shot at them. So full send. Let's do it.
Also, if you have vehicles in that compound, they're gonna be on the western side of the building, and since they weren't on, all doors closed. Great read by 17 to, again, I mean, they're not planning on staying here, of course, unless if the circles go there, but a great spot to stop and scout from.
Hazel Pentagram brought back Glaz. And we'll see where he decides to go because there's just not a whole lot of real estate for him to try to play. And yeah, he's already been spotted by Heaven, I imagine. Third on 5. Yep, third on 5 looking over there as well as doing some parachute tricks right now. Seeing if
he got the circle.
He got the circle.
And according to the observers from before, you can go up to the billboard and you can see stuff. But nope, never mind. That's not going to matter. Glass taken out midair by Cumin.
Spot kuda fight chestaru.
Freaks. They have south side control, but not an easy spot to play out of when this circle starts closing on in.
At least they
need to make space, and they're doing so really effectively right now.
Yeah, I mean, at least they got Heather in there, and look at this now. FM Pochon in 17 going for the same kind of pathing. FM Pochon will stop down at least and let 17 be the first ones to go, and that might be something that 17 ends up regretting here because FM still has that high ground.
You can see they're smoking off the inside here and then looking up towards the hill. They know that there's a team behind them. That's what I was wondering. Are they aware that they've just driven past Evan Pochon, but with how they're smoking, getting out of the backside of the car, they're looking uphill immediately, I would expect that they do know issue is they're putting themselves in a very awkward position here.
I think Heather,
he's in trouble.
Heather got the knock on a 770, and he's like, oh wait, there's a lot more guys over there than I thought there were. I'm in danger. Yeah, Zenith still. I mean, they're still looking down there. They're looking over at Freaks though. FM Pochon haven't even really kind of looked down towards 17. I think 17. They realize they've got to make a move now, and Heather has that grenade prepped and ready to go. Will he drop it in time? He will, but they will move out of the way just in time.
Able to find him. Zenith still with 2 shots left in the links. Finds 770, but immediately shot it in return. That's Bagopal. Haven't had a whole lot of action this game thus far. 0 kills for Bagopal, but with the circles, they've been creeping further and further inside of now, and actually a very, very good split up on that northeastern side.
Yeah, I think Bagopal dropped and looted in Millie, if I'm not mistaken, and they've just kind of been playing around here since. They did explore up on the northern side on the hills a little earlier, but have since moved back in, and they've kind of taken over everything over by C Block and everything west. As Pio get that knock on a Xiao Wu, so 17 just kind of keeping their heads down for the time being.
Akan realizing, well, I got plenty of space in this circle. Is going to whip out a Malta as well as Tick, who's been quiet for the last, what should we give him, 18 minutes?
Yeah, it's been a while.
He now starts peeking with his boldy out of this wizard tower.
Those shanties, those little guard towers, coming huge when you're a solo player. As push comes through, BB team, though, they will defend their territory. Star-Lord, the last player left alive for FM Pochon.
That's a double bolt action defense line there as well. I mean, that is not easy to make happen. But Phil first and best of luck. Make do with what they've got. And they find success with it too. They know exactly, I mean, they should at least know that there's one player inside this smoke still. So flash it on the backside, wrap around, Bulldog ripping a VSS out as well. Oh no. No. They're in the same car! They saw it! Doozy jump scare there. We need a webcam reaction on a Doozy realizing he's sharing a vehicle with his opponent.
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Let's try to survive as 17 will get eliminated in the end by Bagopal. That'll be their first kill that they've managed to pick up, though. So Bagopal, they have a lot of real estate up there to the north to play around. You still have Red Zone out in the blue zone. You still got Tiggleton playing from that western side. And BB team, they still got to find a place to go now.
Red Zone has done absolutely nothing to make himself noticed. So BB can't fault them at all for not looking north at this point in the game as DN Freaks taking some shots at BB team, saying, guys, you can come into the circle, but please go over to Bagopal because we like the space that we have here and we need to maintain it, and they're successful in doing so.
That was a nice defense there by Freaks, but it's going to put BB in a really tough position as a doozy will go down. Guyon will get Molodok, and now BB team, they are in a world of trouble. Bestalosh will have to stop down to heal up, but PO as the grenade is going to be on time. It is, and Bestaloch will get flushed out.
Completely and utterly shut down on entry. Great job by Bagopal, knowing exactly where the kind of threat points were in their lineup and saying, great, we need this type of positioning in order to take out these guys because they can only come in from exactly there. So good setup from Bagopal as they love a Malta on over. Can they get Phil first with it? Nah, it's going to go way far.
A little misread on the distance there. Phil first, though.
Shoot this short, though, Akan.
Yeah,
like within 100 meters.
Might be, that's
వీడు ఇంకా
really,
హోప్
really
వదలలే
tight.
దిగలటానికి వీనికి ఎంత తేడా ఉంది చూడు.
I was gonna say, I think you saw him, and indeed Ranger X did.
Good night, sweet prince. They're on 5, have complete control over the plains and everything down south. BB team, meanwhile, Phil first, the last one up, and this might just be a denial as Begopa will collect, I think, maybe 2 off of this.
First stage sneak and heal through phase 3, so stick around here for a bit. Hope that maybe Freaks and Begopa starts fighting.
I mean, Begopa, they've got no reason to do anything but sit here. It's phase 6. And we're down to our top 4. It's
we didn't have 8 teams rotate across the Western Bridge, and then we had a battalion of paratroopers flying up on the mountain. So you know what? I mean, this game has been an Erangel.
It's been an Erangel military game. What else can you say about it?
It has indeed.
Well, Pio getting a little antsy.
They really want to clear him out, but you got to be patient. They've been patient the entire game. You cannot let that go now.
Yeah, got one more first aid, and then we'll see Phil first probably pop up, look around to see if there's anything he can shoot.
None of them are looking north right now.
Nobody's looking that
Are they
direction?
expecting him to have crawled inside circle further towards the west? I think they were. Good on them that Phil first opens up, and he ran out of first aids, of course, so not a whole lot he can do will deny, and we're down to our top 3.
All right, Dunzo, it's a 4v4v4 for the win. The circle does hug back down to the south, which is
Yeah.